Welcome to Collider Live. It is Thursday. We've done this for 3 weeks now. You guys are supporting us. We appreciate it. And look who I have here to join me for today's Collider Live. We got Nathan Hamill.
Whoa, look at that guy.
My friend, my annoying, basically, brother. Right next to him, the biggest Star Wars fan I know, Jeff Snyder.
It's me. Go Yoda.
And producer extraordinaire, Mark Riley.
It's good to be
always
here, as
happy
always.
to have you.
Happy to be sitting across from the evilest of evils.
Yes.
How are you, Dorina?
I'm good, and I'm very happy because guess who's back? Alex Marsonia is back in the booth.
Oh, it's like, I don't... Oh, right.
What do you mean, oh, right?
Thank God
he's
he's
our
back.
favorite.
I know,
Of
thank
course,
God.
with Cody Hall, who we need.
Is still here.
Is
Yes.
still here. Sassiest of... Cody,
yeah,
Cody
sassy
Hall
Cody.
has been sassy lately, and I'm digging it.
I really love Sassy Cody.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, keep doing that, Cody.
Will
except,
do.
except when you fart on Batman Returns. I do not enjoy that at
I
all.
don't know what you're talking about.
You do that every time. I'm
Can you
gonna.
please just... Yes, please
I
keep
can't-
farting on Batman Returns. Love the movie. Love the
Yes.
farts.
Well, that's true. I can't wait till we switch roles, Cody, and you're here and I'm in the booth and I'm farting on Blink 182.
Just wait for April Fools, I guess.
Fine.
never
Okay,
gonna
it's
happen.
happening.
We can do that.
Yeah. Anyways, I am very excited about today's show because we are all huge Quentin Tarantino fans.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as you can see from Nathan's dorky shirt that I'm very jealous about.
Drexel Spivey.
I know. It's weird.
With
Is that your
with a
favorite?
puppy.
Is that your favorite Quentin screenplay?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, True Romance is my favorite romantic comedy is what I call it. So, but we have
You're not wrong.
No, it's the best. But
Yeah.
we have Tara Wood who directed the new Quentin Tarantino documentary that came out this year.
Yeah.
And we all got to see it last night, and it's really good. I can't wait to talk to her about it. But yeah, how are you guys doing? Thanks for being here.
I have Go-Go Yubari underwear on.
What is that?
Go-Go Yubari?
Yubari. Okay, yeah,
From
yeah.
Kill
Oh,
Bill.
Yubari.
Yeah, Yubari. Go Yubari.
Do you, well, let's see.
Can you
I mean,
can you show it?
yeah.
No, I'm a modest guy.
This is the show for it, though.
Aw.
You know,
We
you
were
can
talking
drop
about
your
butts
pants over
yesterday,
there.
Jeff.
I have-
This isn't for your consideration.
I have
okay?
Dick Ritchie underwear on. So
Nice.
Oh,
Dick
very good.
Ritchie's the best.
Okay.
Wait, what's
that's
your,
me. I'm me. That's me.
Well, that's my favorite Tarantino movie.
Kill Bill?
Yeah.
Volume
Is it
1
really?
or Volume 2? Or do you consider them one movie?
I mean, I would probably say Volume 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that movie looks beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
it's
an
stunning.
amazing looking movie. But also Inglourious Bastards, I really love.
Inglourious Bastards has really risen in the rankings here. What is
That's my
everybody's
favorite of the ones he's directed.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Inglourious Bastards, Kill Bill, you
yeah.
just said. What's yours?
I mean, I say Pulp Fiction, but last night, I have a special affinity for Jackie Brown.
Thank
And-
you
and
very
so
much,
good.
Sam
Jeff Snyder.
Jackson said it's his favorite in the documentary.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, though, because it's so weird, because we were just talking about it before break, that it came out after Pulp Fiction. I think everybody was expecting another Pulp Fiction, and it's very different. It's a much more, like, slower, intimate movie, and that's why I love it so much.
I love Jackie Brown so much. It's in probably my top 5 of his, but I mean, Pulp Fiction's my favorite. I mean, let's
Can you
call it what it
imagine
is.
the pressure, though, to follow a masterpiece like Pulp Fiction? Like,
Yeah.
on the way in
No, I
today, I listened to Kid A, which is
Yeah.
the follow-up to OK Computer. It's
Right.
Like,
Right.
And that's pretty solid. Same as Jackie Brown. I mean, it's just so hard to follow up, like, a masterwork.
And I
Yeah.
think he
Ni-
knew
nice,
it,
Nice reference, by the way. I love
but he
Radiohead.
didn't. But it's like I don't think he cared. He's like, I'm going to make this movie, and I know it's going to be completely different than
Mm-hmm.
Pulp Fiction, and you can sense that in the documentary.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying how ballsy it was for him to do Inglourious Bastards after his biggest bomb, the Death Proof.
Right.
A
Right.
movie that doesn't have any battles,
Right.
World War II battles, and has 3 different languages through, 75%
Right.
of the movie.
It's fantastic.
Wait, did you say your favorite? Is it Inglourious
Yeah.
Basterds? Okay,
Yeah.
but before that, it was Pulp Fiction, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, but I mean, but True Romance is like above all of those for you. You're like Nathan's the biggest True Romance fan I know.
Into True Romance Fest.
Yeah, he has the glasses, he has the shirt.
But my question is, where does
I have
True
an action
Romance?
figure, a Clarence Worley action
Do
figure.
you really? Okay, I want to see that. But where does True Romance and Young Guns 2? I mean, come on. I mean, I promised
you
somebody.
couldn't wait like 5 minutes.
No!
You had to bring it up because he's here.
This is my
Sorry,
True Romance
Cody.
Mark-
poster,
Wow.
dude.
Mark Ellis
that
just
Mondo?
woke up.
I don't know what it is. I don't
That's
think
cool.
so, but it's sick.
That's
sick,
nice.
right?
see that?
Well, you're not showing the audience, Jeff.
Yeah, that's pretty rad.
You don't want to show your underwear? You don't want to show the poster? What's going on?
God.
Damn it, Jeff. Oh, but anyways, well, we got news today to talk about, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Jeff really loves talking about Star Wars, so that's what we should talk about. No,
Thankfully,
I'm kidding.
no
Thankfully,
Star Wars news, and I even got rid of. I finally just dropped some of the Star Wars news. You know, the Werner Herzog falling in love with the child, as it were. You understand?
Baby Yoda.
There it is.
Are we not allowed to talk about that?
Spoilers?
Yeah.
Isn't he all
It's
over
everywhere.
the internet now?
He's all over the internet
Is that
now,
bad?
so I think it's.
Well, because there's international viewers that haven't seen it, right? So that's why they're pissed about it. Salud.
I do know some international viewers that they have seen this thing.
Right.
So I don't know how, but you can kind of figure
I mean,
out.
you know how. What are you gonna do? Why would they release it later, though? Right.
I
So
don't
there
know.
you go. But anyway.
There's the Star Wars talk for you, Jeff. How you feel?
I'm glad it's over.
Okay, you son of a
Yes,
bitch.
Me too. But anyways, Nathan, what do you got here?
Oh, I brought you some beer.
Can we drink it?
You can. They're for you.
Yeah.
I'm not
are
going to tell
they?
you what to do.
Sweet.
Guys, I'm going to call something out right now about this show right off
What?
the bat. Feels like Pete Schwetty's balls, that's SNL skit where
Alec
we're all
Baldwin.
just very, yeah, it's very
Hello.
exciting.
Are
So
you
what is
bringing
this
Mark's
here?
radio voice?
Is this these sweaty balls? Or is this good times? It's good times.
That's the secret ingredient.
It's actually sweaty dino balls. Is what
Sweaty
you're talking
dino-
about.
oh,
Yeah.
I
two
love the
dumb
way your
dinos.
balls smell. They smell delicious.
No, but seriously, Nathan, you've been here one time before or twice? I forget.
I think this is my third time
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
live.
you've
I
been-
did
Yeah.
Rule of Two, and
But every time you come, though, you actually have a new product that you release.
yeah, I'm here to plug.
Yeah. So
That's it.
tell us.
What do we got?
Plug that
Tell us
shit,
about
dude.
tell us about your beer and your toys because I want them.
These just came out last week. Tortugo Brewing in Inglewood, so it's a local brewery if you're in the area. We also have it at a couple. They have distribution, but it's also at Irish Times and Harvell's in Santa Monica
And how do
Palms.
they taste?
Good.
Are there non-alcoholic options for people like myself?
No.
Do you not drink, Jeff?
I don't like to drink.
Why?
I turn into a werewolf.
Oh, that's probably good if you already know that about yourself.
Yeah.
Well, have you become a stoner then?
Become. Yeah, it's a real reason.
Becoming
Well-
stoned.
Well, it's better for you, right?
No, it's the best.
Yes,
from the
weed
earth.
is better for you than alcohol.
Yeah.
If you're of age, is just what I'm saying.
Right.
So, but anyways,
Heroin up for debate, though.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
We don't make heroin jokes here. So.
No, yeah, we make all kinds of jokes. We talked about Mike Kalinowski's butt yesterday for a good 20 minutes, and then John Roca showed up and confirmed
Yeah.
that it's amazing. It's
perfect.
Yes.
We have a lot of sound bites.
That ass.
Yeah. A lot of sound bites of Josh McCouga. Why am I thinking about Josh McCouga? Oh, you know why? Oh.
because we FaceTime with him.
You're
We
always
FaceTime
thinking
with
about Josh.
Yeah, we FaceTime with him, and
Where in the world is he?
where is he? Very good question.
Can we say?
I think Roxy wanted to kind of announce it. Yeah.
Okay.
So-
well, let's wait then. I guess
We'll
I don't
wait
know.
for a little
yeah,
bit,
But we
but-
did FaceTime with him the other day.
So
and
updates
he's-
with Josh McCouga coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Baymax. Do you know Baymax from?
Big Hero 6.
Big Hero
Yeah,
6?
yeah, because he's always so sweet and happy, and when we were FaceTiming with him, he was smiling so wide, and
That's
he's
like
just
I've never heard that. That's the
Yeah.
greatest
Isn't it?
compliment you could give Josh McCouga.
yeah, he's so sweet. But anyways, Nathan, back to your toys.
Yeah. So
And your art.
We got the beer. I brought by some. DesignerCon is this weekend in Anaheim. At the Anaheim
And what is
Convention Center.
DesignerCon for those that don't know?
It's designer toys.
Designer drugs?
We got
Always
new-
back
Gotta
to
bring
the
it,
drugs.
bring it back to the heroin, Jeff. Goddamn.
But yeah, just lots of lowbrow art and collectibles.
Lowbrow.
Yeah,
We're a
pop
lowbrow
art.
crowd here, I think.
Yeah. And it's Friday through Sunday in Anaheim, and I'll be at I should have.
It's right there.
I'll be signing 3 to 4. That's at the DesignerCon booth, and then I'm blanking on. I'll be at Flat Bonnie's booth, but I don't know the booth number.
So are these new? These are your drawers,
Yeah,
right?
these are Drorgs, half bird, half robot.
Okay.
For legal reasons.
They're so cute.
These glow in the dark.
Oh,
these
really?
Are the
Let's turn off the
Turn the
lights.
lights. Turn the lights off. Over here, with the curtain. Do they turn off all the way though? Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh
There's
yeah.
one.
Keep going. Keep going.
Oh.
No.
We're
That
not-
that
no.
switch there.
We're gonna get a séance in here,
On the
right?
actual remote, there's an off button.
okay. There we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
we
Look
go.
at that.
Oh, wow. I see him.
Oh, I can't wait to see
Ah.
this in.
I don't know if it's in there, but it's.
I can see it.
We can see it, guys.
We can see it.
Anyways,
Everybody at home, whatever.
So
we're gonna do the rest of the show.
People, yeah, I was gonna say people chiming in right now. They're like, "Wait, why is it dark?"
I know. I can't. I'm going to be looking at the. There it is. Yeah, I'm watching the actual replay, and it's not too bad.
Okay, good. But yeah, no, these are super cute, and it's funny because they are dwargs, so it makes me want to eat them. And I have. How many of these colorways have you come out with already?
We totally screwed up the lighting, by the way.
yeah.
This is going to be. This
What
is
Did you
bad.
mess it up, Nathan?
This is bad.
You're fired.
There it is.
There we go. I think this is the third or fourth.
But this
edition.
isn't. But what toy design is this of yours? Because you've been releasing one like every few years now.
I guess I've been doing enough where I can't remember how many I've done, so that's good.
I mean, the first, I was going to call it an action figure, but the first toy that I got of yours was Boris. That was your first vinyl ever,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
that was how much, that was
It was
when
10
I met
years
you.
ago.
Yeah, because I've known you too long now.
Yeah, this is our last year of friendship.
Yes.
How long have you guys known each other now?
Since 2008.
That is a long time.
I know, and we're still friends. Isn't that weird?
I mean,
are?
friendship with you guys is a relative term, right? I mean, it's like you hate each other a lot, but you also have a lot in common.
We've stopped trying to kill one another.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's
no,
good.
we're like, it's like a sibling thing.
You
where
guys are
I
the best.
Yeah, but I love him and hate him at the same time.
It's so funny. Every time you'll either be on the show with her or there's something involved where we're all there. It's like you're just like, I guess I'm going to be on the show with her, and you just kind of put that out there as like a
We kid. We like to roast one.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, wait, you're going to be there? We do that all the time. But no, I love your toys. They're
Thank you.
super cute. And I love beer. So, and this is actually Two Dumb Dinos beer, which is your comic strip.
Yeah.
And that's great. If you don't know about it, Jeff, but he has a really cool, funny comic strip called
tag-
Two Dumb Dinos.
Nice, I'll check it out.
The tagline is crisp and bright as the comet that destroyed all life on Earth. The unused one was goes down smoother than Jeff Goldblum. But we didn't go with that one. We would have sold more to the ladies.
probably.
That one's great. Yeah, you should have him sponsor it or something.
And what's that other thing? Because I like to talk about this art.
Oh, yeah. Jeff might want one of those.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite art pieces that I own, actually. And
By
this is I know
Nathan.
this is a new kind of version of it, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the Revenge edition print.
But what is it called? My Father,
My
My
Father,
Hero?
My Lord.
My Lord, that's what it is.
So
I
I'll have
love
these
that.
at DesignerCon too. Yeah, so
Looks
through
good.
there.
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool.
Nice print.
See, even if you're not a Star Wars nerd, Jeff, you like that,
I
right?
can appreciate
It's
fine art.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you not like Star Wars, or are you just sick of it?
Actually, I don't think Star Wars is bad. I've seen far worse.
What if Tarantino did a Star Wars? Instead
I
of Star-
wouldn't care.
You wouldn't watch it? Isn't he your favorite
like,
filmmaker?
yeah, but like Tarantino's Star Trek, I'm not excited for that to happen. I don't think it ever will either.
I don't think it ever will, but
think
I
it
would
will.
like to see bloody tribbles. That's what I want to see. I think that would be good, and I would love him if he did Star Wars too. I don't know if people would, but I would.
You don't think his Star Trek will happen? I'm actually thinking out loud now, and even if he like helped write and produce it but not direct it.
That would be his last one. You can't end on a Star Trek, right?
Well, I know, but it would be his last one if that were to go. But I don't think he's going to direct it. But could it be a like on the poster Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek, and he's like a producer and a writer on it?
I don't think that's what Paramount should be doing with that IP.
Right.
What-
And we've heard from Thad because Thad's a huge Star Trek fan. We talked
Right.
about it yesterday with the Noah Hawley stuff, but he doesn't want to see that. And I think there's some diehard Trekkies out there that don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I'm
I get it.
intrigued. I couldn't not see that movie if it came out, but yeah, I'm like wondering why do they keep saying it's happening or
I don't
it's
know.
like
Maybe
in
he's
development.
a big fan. You never. But I wouldn't mind Quentin directing any movie. I think he's one of the best filmmakers we've ever had. Like I said, I'm very excited to talk to Tara about it. But so then, what is your? So he's your favorite filmmaker.
Yeah, him and Fincher.
Oh, what's your
yeah.
favorite Fincher movie?
7.
That's a good
Same.
one.
Yeah.
7's a perfect film.
Well, and
Yeah,
that's what's
it is.
interesting. Do you guys notice in the documentary that I think it was Michael Madsen that was talking about how Quentin doesn't really like shooting in digital, right? And that's why Hateful Eight looks so beautiful because it's in 70 millimeters.
Right.
And they were watching. I'm not sure what movie.
They were watching 7 at the New
Was
Beverly.
it 7? But
Yeah.
like he's like that's one of the last times you're going to see a Fincher movie not in digital.
Right.
Right? And so that makes me kind of sad because it does look really fucking good.
It looks dirty and grimy and
Yeah.
gritty and
Beautiful.
all the scratches and the little pops and it's
Yep.
perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about that? Do you feel like like we're gonna lose that because filmmakers aren't learning how to do how to do film, like non-digital film.
Yeah, I think a number of filmmakers like Tarantino could make that a thing that I'm going to shoot this thing on film, but in general, it's digital.
Yeah, the art form has changed. Just the financial realities of things have changed.
Right.
So every now and then you will get a director with clout who will be able to impose his will and shoot on film. But yeah, it's few and far between.
Right.
I just think, I mean, obviously, digital technology has come so far that we do have amazing films because of that. But I do miss the intimacy that we get from a 70 millimeter.
I just like the sound of the projector. I always sit in the back row. With Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I went to all the 35 millimeter screenings.
Did you
sit
really?
Right back, right in front of the projector, and you just hear that.
Tarantino would
do
be
it again.
proud
That was actually
of
a
that.
Predator
That again. That was good.
I make the same
Come
noise
on.
as a cat and a predator. Yeah.
Cody, can you pull up the score? That's Nathan's favorite score, Predator score. You
Is
have a great
Predator
story.
your favorite score?
No, Young Guns too.
So, well,
Is
there
it really?
No, it's up there. It's Alan Silvestri, man. Both of them.
But wait, he did
Yeah.
both Young Guns?
No, he did
No.
Predator.
Okay, but which one? Who did Young Guns the first one?
I don't know, but it was much more of a '80s, rock
I
soundtrack,
love
not as
that.
sweeping as
Yeah, it had a great
As part two.
hook. And I can't remember the composer's name, but it was like, it's a cool, 80s vibe. But
Yeah.
then Silvestri came in, and and that's a good score, too.
Yeah.
Jeff, who are you sexting?
I'm actually texting someone who worked with Fincher.
Oh, yeah?
Wait, what?
What about?
Good for you.
My favorite soundbite. What about?
He was a first AD on Mindhunter,
Mm-hmm.
and I grew up with him. We weren't really ever like close friends or anything, but he's
Right.
coming to LA for a bunch of meetings, and so I had planned to grab lunch with him tomorrow. However, I got an offer yesterday from Santa Monica Volkswagen, and they
good for you.
So good. It's my favorite.
my lease is almost up, and my mileage is. You know what? I'm gonna come in there. I know where you are. My lease is almost up. My mileage is way over, so they're like, "Can we basically wipe away your mileage fees and put you in another Volkswagen?"
Right.
But it has to be done like immediately. I'm flying back to Boston tomorrow night, so it's just a very hectic kind of time. I'm trying to organize this. I don't know.
Right.
I'll
Okay.
wait till after the show. Forgive me,
Well, I was gonna
dear
say,
viewers.
if you're just gonna spend the whole show texting, then
Well, I don't think it was the
whatever.
whole
It's like,
show.
oh, let me text my cool contacts that I have while you guys talk, and I don't care about Star Wars.
Ask them if
Well, I
they're going
definitely
to...
don't care about Star Wars.
Are they going to work on the Chinatown prequel series?
I don't know. I mean,
You can, I was
I'll
just
put it this way:
assuming you
if he
can...
tells me, I don't think he's going to be talking about. He's going to be working on it anymore.
I'm just wondering, because you could text them. It's a question.
Now,
know.
Now, Jeff, because you're the king of scoops at our office at Collider.
Like not in general, not the actual
Just-
king,
just
but
here.
Here in this small fiefdom.
just between 20 of us. How many ones do you keep for yourself for like a long time that you can't talk about? Like right now, like how much? Like do you
There-
know like a big story that you're like,
Yes.
oh, I wish I could talk about it,
Yes,
and you can't
absolutely.
give us any hints.
Is
Nothing.
it the Batman news? Is it the Batman?
is
it's the
it-
Batman.
is it
isn't
No,
Joker
it's
news?
not. It's
You
Is
not.
it
can't-
Star Wars news? It's Star Wars,
it-
isn't it?
It involves a big director on a big property that's coming back.
Oh, wait a
A
minute.
property that's coming back, so it's not current.
It's not really current. Though,
Okay.
I wouldn't say.
So like nostalgia kind of thing, like what we're getting, like this Robocop movie's coming out again.
It's not so old that I would be able to say there's nostalgia for it.
Okay.
Okay.
So property. So
Kangaroo Jack.
yeah. Boom. Give
Good
yourself
for you,
Give
Cody.
yourself that air horn. Thank you. Jesus. That
Oh
was
my
drop the
God.
mic there with that one.
Thank you, Cody. See, sassy Cody, man. That's
He's
who
so
I
sassy
like.
lately. It's awesome.
The Indie Spirit Awards came out this morning, so that's also what I was looking at.
Oh, yeah,
on
that's
Twitter.
right.
Oh yeah, tell us about it. I want to know because I love indie movies more than Star Wars.
Well, the Best Director nominees, were The Lighthouse.
Okay.
Which you thought was just
Robert
okay,
Eggers, all right.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. Honey Boy,
Okay.
Loose, whose director Roka and I,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
that's
we
right,
interviewed right
Loose.
here. Uncut Gems
Ah,
No shit. Oh, that's great.
and Hustlers.
really?
Hustlers?
Yep.
Did you see all of those?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Which ones did you guys see Uncut
Wow.
Gems at? No.
No,
I
That's the
haven't seen
only
it yet.
thing. You missed Loose, I assume.
I've missed Loose.
Honey Boy,
Haven't
No,
seen
I
Honey
have
Boy
them
yet.
on my list. I just haven't seen them.
Hustlers.
So no.
Oh man, you got to see Hustlers. That was so much fun.
I heard it was great. I heard it was like Magic Mike, but with women.
She
but
did a
really
great
good.
job with it, Lorraine Scafaria.
I mean, I heard she also dances to Fiona Apple's Criminal, so I need to see that for sure.
Yeah,
That's
pretty hot.
awesome.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Is it pretty hot?
Did you see The Lighthouse though?
No.
Didn't see anything.
Is that a
I
sequel to the
saw
Lake House?
everything else except those movies.
Those five.
What'd you say, Nathan?
I
Was
love
that a sequel to the Lake House?
I want
Yes.
that.
That's exactly, yeah.
Moving on.
I
Yeah.
want that.
Did you see any of those, Nathan?
No.
Do you just keep watching Star Wars over and over again? Do you just keep watching The
Young
Mandalorian, and
Guns
that's why
too.
you
Come
haven't
on.
seen. That's why you haven't seen any of the indie movies because you
Right.
keep rewatching The Mandalorian. You fucking nerd, man.
I'm with you, man.
Doreen,
I have
thought-
watched it a couple times. Each
I have too.
episode is
Yeah.
they
Really?
are, yeah.
I
Wait.
thought you liked dark stuff though, Doreen. I thought you would have seen The Lighthouse.
No,
The
I
Lighthouse
wanted
is
to.
it,
I
yeah.
was actually when I went to Fantastic Fest. It was it was at.
Oh, good for you.
Keep doing it,
Thank you,
Cody.
Cody.
Thank you.
It was I missed it because I had to leave early, so I got to see everything else. I got to see
Okay.
a bunch of great movies. I got to see Parasite and what's it called First Love by Takashi Miike. Jojo Rabbit is one of my favorites of the year. I got to see a lot of good ones. I'm just missing a few. What's your favorite of the year? Marriage Story?
Marriage Story, The Farewell, Wild Rose. Yeah, those three were
Okay.
the real standouts.
I saw The Farewell.
What
and I
about
loved it.
Platform?
Platform was excellent.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
not
know.
one of your favorites of
I
the
mean,
year?
it's definitely one of my favorites.
Okay.
How many favorites do I get?
I don't know.
You
How
get
about you?
top 10
What?
It's not
every
my
year.
top 10. no.
What
It's
about-
not in your top 10?
No.
Thought it
Really?
was.
Dude, I see
Son of
a
bitch.
lot. I'm gonna be up to 200 movies soon. I mean,
Oh.
yeah.
What about you, Nathan? What's your favorite of the year?
Once Upon a Time in
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Well, you're a huge Tarantino dork. That's
Saw
why.
it 3 times, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually I get to see it tonight at a screening with a bunch of the cast. I'm pretty excited about
Ooh.
it. Thanks, Haley.
Good for you.
you.
There we go. I was waiting for that.
And your favorite's the platform.
That's up there. Joker's up there.
Is that a Harry Potter spinoff?
The Platform?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, he didn't get a ding, Cody.
There it is.
I was scrambling to find it.
I'm seeing Les Mis this afternoon. Les Miserables, the
Like-
new one.
What do you mean the new one?
There's like a new crime drama that's
What?
called Les Miserables. Yeah.
What is
Is
a
it-
movie?
It's an Amazon movie. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
foreign. It's like a
But
French
it's
film.
not a musical.
It's French. No,
Okay.
But
Oh.
is it based on the story of the
I don't actually know.
okay.
Well, it says music by Pink Noise, so maybe that's just the composer.
Ooh, I like that. Pink Noise. Great.
Yeah. Anyways, so Nathan, since we can't talk about The Mandalorian, because Jeff is here and I don't
The
want to talk about
Mandalorian.
Star Wars, what have you been watching though, that other than Star Wars stuff that you?
I started watching Mrs. Fletcher on HBO.
Yeah.
With Catherine Hahn.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, yeah.
I started watching Watchmen, but I'm holding off to watch with my girlfriend. So
Okay.
put that on. Went through 4 episodes. Now I'm kind of itching for the next one. So
But
So-
Mrs. Fletcher, is it good?
I liked it. Yeah.
Okay.
So far, so good. I liked her, so I knew going in that.
Do you lose interest when she's not on screen? Because I heard that was the case.
With the kids, maybe, yeah, but they've got some interesting storylines. I think I
Okay.
can see where they're going with it. So
do wanna watch that.
recommend that.
Are you watching Succession?
No.
You gotta watch that now.
Riley's
I am,
obsessed
I
with
am
it right now.
obsessed with this now.
Everyone
Yeah.
I
What is
know
that?
is.
Yeah, it's Succession's Brian Cox and a supporting cast. It's his
Right.
kids. It's like he's a major media conglomerate. Like you can see shades of Walt Disney stuff in there, and like just big personalities. It's so good.
Great
It's-
theme song.
The theme song is an earworm. That's it. This is the actual theme song that opens Succession. They're all dancing.
You know, Cody has power over me because I used to hate this song, and now he plays it and makes me happy. And it happened. And the same thing happened with the Friday song by Rebecca Black. I cannot stand that
Can't
song.
do it yet though.
What about
Friday.
Not
Zubilee
Friday.
Zoo?
Oh, you son of a
Zubilee
bitch.
Zoo.
God, just do it. Shit.
Why do you hate it so much, though? It's so good.
Have you heard the song?
Yeah, magic and wonder are waiting for you.
See, I can listen to that. Just rip it.
Jeff, do you have
Can
any
you
idea
play
what's
Oh
going
Good
on?
For
No,
You
I don't
over
understand
this?
all the Collider live references. I don't get all the in jokes.
What do you mean you don't watch
Who
our
ha-
show?
who
Like,
has-
you don't watch
Welcome to
2
the show,
hours
dude.
of us
Who
every
has
day?
Zubilee Zoo ready at the go? Like, all he has to do is hit a button and Zubilee Zoo comes up.
I think we
Cody
need a
Hall.
mashup with "Oh Good for You" over
Yes,
this.
we do. Yes.
Can we do?
Thank you. Thank you,
See,
Cody.
you like them.
I did. You guys are a blast.
Yeah, you are a blast, Jeff. Thanks for being here.
Oh,
You
yeah.
too.
Zubilee Zoo with fart noises would be much better.
Okay. Now he's orchestrating.
No, that's him.
Oh. I thought that was a soundbite, Jeff.
I
Jesus.
could do farts. If anybody needs me to record farts for you, I can do them on command.
See, now you made Mark like it, Cody, because he
Sibley's is
farted
now
on
my
it.
favorite song with the fart added to it, just and the long one.
Is this the longest it's played on the show?
Probably.
Probably.
Yes. Anyways, I love it. So we actually have to go to break because we're gonna have amazing director Tara Wood coming in 5 minutes. So we will be back.
Hey guys, it's Perry here to let you know that Movie Talk is moving. We've had a great time in this 3 p.m. Pacific slot, but guess what? We want you to start your day with Collider Movie Talk, so we're moving. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon
We've already
Eastern.
moved.
It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get a longer show with some brand new segments, so tune in starting Monday, September 16th.
It was 2
9
months
a.m.
ago.
Pacific. See you there.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, if you've been watching us every week, we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Riley here. Let me tell you about the Riley Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider
Some
Conversations.
Thursdays.
And I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray
Wait for
Drake,
it.
Alexander Desplat
That
came
guy.
on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Riley Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video on the YouTube as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue
Hey,
Brand.
everyone, this is
So
John
do yourself a
Roca.
favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hi, I'm Amy Dallin, one of the hosts of Collider Heroes, and starting right now, you can catch our show Tuesday nights with a new Collider Heroes and a longer Collider Heroes podcast, where Coy and I are gonna talk your ears off. You already know that's coming. So make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe, and find us on the Collider Heroes podcast feed for all of that sweaty goodness.
The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that Horrorville podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. And on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
We are back. Collider Live, and we're very excited because Tara Wood is joining us, the director of the new Quentin Tarantino documentary, QT8, The First Eight is what it's called. And we all got to see it last night. We're so excited to talk to you because we loved it. I mean, we're big Tarantino fans. We didn't really know what to expect, and it makes me want to see your other documentary with Richard Linklater.
21 years, Richard Linklater.
Yes, and so I just feel like you did such a good job with showing why Quentin is such an amazing visionary filmmaker, as well as why people love working with him so much, because you had everybody most everybody on this documentary. You had Samuel L. Jackson, Diane Kruger, Lucy Liu, Zoe Bell. You know, it was so great to hear
Zoe's great.
from the stunt person, right, who basically became an actress. So how did you get involved in this project, and how did you make it happen and actually were able to reach to all these contacts to be in your movie?
So luckily Quentin liked 21 Years Richard Linklater as well, and they're friendly out of Austin. I spent a lot of time in Austin. Yeah. So when I completed that and went to Quentin, he wanted to well, basically he gave me his blessing based on seeing that the first one did not interview the director, which I thought he would actually say the opposite, and that it focused on the filmography and it's not an expose. It just really, more of a tribute and enjoying his filmography thus far. So, so in that, he gave me his blessing, and the caveat was that he didn't want to meet me. You know, and which at the time I was heartbroken. I was like, oh man, you know, who can I refer to or whatever. Right. And like everything else I've learned about him, he was 100% right about that part of the filmmaking process. It was better that I didn't know him personally yet.
Is it because it sort of like kept it pure in a sense?
It did, and kind of innocent. You know, it's like when you meet somebody and you're like, oh, I want to know more about this person. You ask around,
right?
You know, so I think it allowed everybody else to open up as well. Right. Yeah. And share more, knowing that he wasn't going to be kind of filling in the blanks. Right. So, yeah, it was really cool.
Have you since met him?
I have.
Okay. And has he seen this?
I believe so. Okay. I don't know how he feels yet. Well, I would have known if it was bad, I assume.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah, I got to meet him, and a lot happened in between starting and finishing.
Sure.
But I met him in Cannes.
Oh, wow.
And
how long
by
ago?
Chance, thankfully, this year.
Okay.
So May.
And how long ago did you start working on this project?
Right after Linklater, so it was 2015.
Jesus. Okay, so 3 years.
But in between, I sold to Harvey Weinstein and got caught up, and all that happened.
Right.
So it should have taken 2 years.
Did you have a favorite Tarantino movie entering this project?
That's always so hard because my favorite screenplay is True Romance.
Okay.
But every time I analyze and go through, I end up coming back to Reservoir Dogs just because of that rawness and that first time, like, how is this a first-time filmmaker?
Right.
You know, and it's raw, and there's no money, and it's amazing. So it goes back to the story. So I always go back to Reservoir Dogs.
Right, and what's crazy and what I loved about the documentary the most is that it seemed like not only getting to see the behind-the-scenes footage of, you know, like Michael Madsen talking about how he, you know, didn't want to dance during that famous Reservoir Dogs scene, and just him talking about Quentin letting him do his thing, or seeing Quentin dance along with Uma and John Travolta during Pulp Fiction, like all of these amazing scenes that I'd never gotten to watch. And so was that kind of your motivation to do this project? Are you such a big fan that you wanted to show this, you know, this man is a visionary filmmaker, I want to show the world, or you just wanted to kind of deconstruct like a tribute film?
I think it's both.
Right.
A lot of it was definitely because what I heard in Austin, what people would say about him is he's so sweet and he's all heart. I was like, what? You know, like how? Well, considering what he does and what you hear in the press, and he's this and he's that and he's big and he's loud and you know, and he loves film and he talks nonstop about film. And it's like, but what? All right, so why are they saying that?
Right.
What is that? So I wanted to uncover that.
I think you did a good job because that was
Thank you.
some of the things that really surprised me, especially I love seeing on that Inglourious Bastard shot of him going, we're going to do one more take. Why? Because we love making films. And that just, this celebration that you've captured, it just made me, endeared me to him so much more. And it makes a lot of sense looking at his filmography from this.
Yeah, I don't think anybody loves film more than Quentin Tarantino. He loves it.
Like he's like the biggest film nerd out there, I feel like.
Yeah.
In every
he
way.
knows everything.
Yeah, in every way, not just as a writer, but as an actual like lover of the filmmaking process. That's what you really showed in this film.
Right, because I feel like he's bringing these actors in for meetings, and he starts it with just putting on an old movie. And is that what some of like most of the stories of these people you interviewed was like it all just starts with film, like personal films, like movies that he would put on and as like almost like an icebreaker for him to then talk about his own projects?
It seems that way. Tim Roth goes into it, I think, more than others. And there's so much more. I wish this could have been 3 hours long.
Same.
That's why it's nonstop. That's why it's like, you just keep getting hit in the face, and this documentary doesn't stop because there's so much. How do you cover Quentin Tarantino in 90 minutes? But yeah, so the first intro, I think, when he introduces himself, he says, "This is who I am. This is what I love. This is where I want you to join me."
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Was there? Did you have like a favorite interview out of everyone that you spoke to?
I've tried to do that too. They all brought something. They were all so genuine. I think Christoph Waltz, like sitting in front of Christoph Waltz, you're like, is he gonna kill me? Because he would stop and think about it. He was very specific, so he would stop and lean back a little bit. I was like, oh.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, let me ask you this. All journalists and critics have this respect and admiration for Quentin Tarantino. So how and why did you settle on Lewis Black? Who I had seen in the Devil and Daniel Johnston documentary. I recognized him.
Oh, that's right.
Again, I think that comes from spending a lot of time in Austin, and I always loved he just puts it out there, and there's a wonderful critique and deep knowledge of film and everything around it with an edge. Like, he always gives a little bit of a punch to it.
Yeah. He had great sound bites. I was just like, how is this guy the chosen one? It was interesting. That's why I had to ask.
And we've seen we've seen Clinton with specific people along the way. I love Lewis Black. I love that he's just got that rough edge to him.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I also want to talk about the structure of the movie because I'm very curious to see. We usually have guests here that make fiction, right? But we don't have a lot of documentary filmmakers. And so how is that process different than making a fictional movie? Because I love the structure of the movie where you had like chapter 1 and then chapter 2 was like whatever, badass chicks and genre movies. And then chapter 3 was justice, right? And then you're talking about Django and Inglourious Basterds. So was that, did you decide all of this? Like, how did you go about that process?
Yes, I did decide that, but I don't feel like the difference is you write a narrative feature, right? You write it, and then you follow it. And with this, they write it for you. And then you have to go back and go, okay, where are these themes and how does it come together? With the chapters, I found that really interesting that when I did pull back and look at it and what the conversations were, they did break themselves up that way. I was like, oh. And Stacey Sher talks about this, how he looks at things in his life at the moment and digs into them. So the first two were like, this is me, like this is me. This is Reservoir Dogs and it's raw and it's Pulp Fiction and it just went crazy.
And Clarence into romance.
And then, right, we got to talk about that. I know. But then he moves into, now I'm going to study women and study genres and dig into that. And so he has these like periods in his life where he studies something. And I think he's doing it again with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now he's just revisiting what I feel, what he loves. And he's like, I'm going to own this and I'm going to present it. And then he still goes very Tarantino, right? But he loves Los Angeles. So he explores that more deeply than anybody has.
Did you plan making this movie about a celebration of his 8 movies leading up to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Like, did you know it was going to come out?
That was not the plan.
Okay.
When I sold to Harvey Weinstein and got caught up in that, and then October 5th, when that New York Times article dropped, that encapsulated these 8 films. So, because it was, I was like, how am I going to end on 8 films when he says he's only making 10? Like, what am I going to do? But Hateful Eight kind of bookends Reservoir Dogs, where he revisits the one-room scenario, all the bad guys figuring things out. So that made sense. But then this kind of upped that.
Right. And speaking of Weinstein, because, elephant in the room, we got to talk about that. I
Which
felt
is how
like
I felt making the film.
I was going to say, like, how you do touch upon it towards the end, and it seems like an addendum to a movie that's celebrating the filmmaker. But then there's the, how did you approach that, and what made you decide to even, like, kind of do recreations of cartoons? I thought that was really interesting, like the Michael Madsen story with the weird moment in Harvey Weinstein and his daughter's doll. Like, there's that, which is weird and creepy. Like,
but it kind of says everything without saying it.
Yeah.
You're like, wow. For whatever reason, wow comes to you, right? It says a lot. The animations I love for that, because it allows you to explore but kind of leave it alone.
Right.
But Harvey was always a part of the conversation, because from Reservoir Dogs all the way through, and would have continued, I assume, they were partners. So if you're talking about Quentin's filmography, that's his partner. They made each other in a lot of ways. Nobody was willing to take a chance on Quentin back then. Harvey was. I think there's a hole in the industry right now of somebody to fill that spot of taking the risk on new filmmakers, which is unfortunate. That was the brilliant side of Harvey Weinstein. So making the film, we had to, and we also sat down with Bob Weinstein. So we had to. It felt better to pull that out when we had to revisit and re-edit and finish the film. And the abruptness of it is, I feel like, kind of how it came to us. So putting it out there and kind of pulling you out of where we're at in the film made sense.
Is the point of, like, including that stuff, though, to try to ask us to separate the man from the artist, that kind of thing?
No, I didn't mean it as a separation.
Okay.
I think it's because it's very much a part of it. I think Harvey and Quentin are so far apart, and it's shocking. So I think you just have to make what you want out of that. It was difficult to bring into the documentary. It's difficult to bring in and get back out again without it turning into being about that. And that's the last thing we wanted.
Well, I thought what you did so brilliantly that was interesting to me is when you did talk about the Weinstein stuff in your documentary, while you're interviewing people and while there's narration going on, you had scenes of Quentin's movies where these women that eventually do get revenge, like the bride, like Rose McGowan's character in Death Proof or Grindhouse or whatever, and they end up, you're showing them crying and being victims in those scenes while you're talking about the Weinstein situation. I thought that was really smart because it kind of shows that Quentin understands, as much as his movies are violent, there's a humanism in there as well.
Yes, and you're looking at the same thing differently. I love that. I'm glad you noticed that, actually. It's and again, coming back to, he revisits themes and what was he visiting there, because he doesn't share that side necessarily, and I think this allows you to look at possibly what he may have been exploring. Right.
So
Is there anyone who may have declined to have participated in the film, or
well, I was also going to
people who
ask
you were
if you
warned not to approach?
Like, did you guys reach out to Uma Thurman?
I'm disappointed that we didn't get Uma. I understand. There wasn't an explanation. We visited a lot to try to make that happen, and ultimately, she wasn't comfortable with it. I don't know why. I know her and Quentin are good and friends, and they talk about Kill Bill 3. But she ultimately, obviously, she passed. Travolta was on board and scheduling, heard that. I miss Lawrence Bender.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Bender and Roger Avery.
Yeah, and yes. But again, then we get into, okay, so we have all these people and this is where we're going and we're having a hard time getting everybody. I mean, DiCaprio, Pitt, it should be 12 hours long. Right.
So was it mostly about scheduling that you're missing some of these actors and producers, or is it like
more
Travolta
like it was.
For Travolta, okay.
Yeah.
And did you reach out to Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt to get them involved?
Okay, so the truth of this part is when I sold the film to the Weinstein Company, those conversations, like Leo was on board, Travolta was on board, and those stopped.
Right.
So that's the truth of that. I don't know why. Right. But when we got the film back a year later, then we had to move quickly, and then scheduling was a problem.
Yeah. How was that process? I mean, so the Weinsteins were backing this project for you, and then when it all happened, you had to change course?
No, so it was independently financed.
Okay.
We were almost complete. We had a few outstanding interviews,
Mm-hmm.
Travolta, Leo, and then we were going to do more.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to finish with them.
I see.
Yeah.
Did that make it even more difficult for you in general? Like, what was that the most difficult part about releasing this movie in general? Like, did you have any somebody not wanting you to release it, or?
No, I didn't get any pushback on the release. Ultimately, once it was back and clear,
right,
we were good. It was clear sailing again. And up until this project was a dream. I mean, from Quentin giving us the blessing, and so what he did do is support everybody to show up. You know, Sam Jackson showed up and he's like, I called Quentin and he told me to show up. I was like, cool.
There it is.
You know? So it was amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody showed up. Everybody's happy. They're talking about their favorite director.
Yeah.
They're probably talking about some of their favorite roles or characters that they've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
So it was amazing. It wasn't until I signed with the Weinstein Company where it was like, oh, this isn't amazing anymore. It was just different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did love how a lot of these actors it didn't just change their careers, it changed their lives. Robert Forster changed his life.
Yes.
Christoph Waltz, I mean, he got 2 Oscars working with him, and just to hear the loyalty that Quentin inspires was very impressive.
That was my favorite part too, is hearing Jamie Foxx talk about how Samuel L. Jackson is the best actor he's ever worked, right? And it makes sense. Or it's Samuel L. Jackson himself talking about what a unique experience it is for an actor to be on set with Quentin Tarantino compared to any other set. Like, I guess they don't let you bring in your phone.
No phones.
Like, and it's a very like communal kind of experience. Like, we're all hanging out here and we're going to watch movies together. You know, it was so cool. Like, was that through the interviews that you learned that process?
I think that was the coolest part to learn about him because it's real.
Right.
His movies are fantastic and go where they go, but he's real. His relationships are real. The set experience is real. No phones, no checking out. You know, you're going to stay here and be present. It's pretty amazing.
Right. And it's also the crew is from the crew he's worked with is from years and years, right?
Yeah, same.
It's like a
everybody.
family.
Everybody. Yep. Everybody on set. I mean, not everybody's the same people, but it applies to everybody. They all talk to each other. They all come together. There's not a separation between crew and talent where there is on a lot of sets. Yeah.
And I also thought you made a short but very beautiful tribute to his editor, Sally Mink.
Yeah, that was a nice segment.
Yes, because she worked with him all the way up until Inglourious Bastards, was it, I believe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mark?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask a question.
I blanked. I had it and then I lost it.
Well, the other thing I was going to say that's actually really funny, and I had no idea that Quentin Tarantino was an Elvis impersonator on a Golden Girls episode.
That was my favorite.
20 grand? 20 grand seemed like a lot.
That was crazy, and you had that footage. Was that that type of footage? Was that released for your documentary, or could people see it before then?
Oh, jeez. Where did I get
like
that?
other than reruns, I guess.
Nobody gave me anything. Like, I had to go dig and find. Everything that you see in there, I had to go scratch and find. I think I had to go find an old, oh man, I can't remember where I found that footage.
On the YouTube.
It's amazing, though. Maybe it was, maybe so.
Did you ever see footage of him on stage and Wait Until Dark?
No.
I saw it when I was a teenager. He was the bad guy in Wait Until Dark stage production. It was amazing.
That's crazy.
I know what I was going to ask you, though. It was, it's clear that you have affinity for Quentin's career, and you can see which films and scenes and performances just by seeing what you focused on here. So what did you make of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
It was beautiful. Okay.
Give us your review.
I very much enjoyed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I loved to watch him. Well, what's better than watching somebody do what they love to do? Mm-hmm. That's what that felt like to me. Mm-hmm. Recreating these. He loves the stunt people. He appreciates them. So we visit with him and the curve of their careers. But again, going back to I love Brandy. It's that
Yeah, I get it.
Visiting Los Angeles that way. Mm-hmm. And the nostalgia and watching him just relish in what he loves. It was beautiful.
Well, on that note, I mean, there's so many little bits that you learn from him, like how much, like taking the cell phones away from people entering his set, his church, if you will. Like going to the extras. One of the most fascinating things for me with Inglourious Bastards was like, what's your backstory? And if you don't know it, you're out.
Right.
And you're fired. And then Eli Roth is like, and that was an extra. Right. So is there a little tidbit throughout your interviews that's your favorite that you learned about Quentin Tarantino that nobody else knew? I know. There's Golden Girls for me.
There's so much. There's so
and
much.
And the fact that he liked Moesha. I love that.
Oh.
That's so funny.
That might be it, actually. Yeah. When Zoe said that, I think I almost fell off my chair.
Yeah.
I was like, what? How do we get to Moesha? And how do we fit this in this documentary? Yeah.
Well, you said it, though, right? He's an appreciator of all kinds of things.
All of it. And I think Scotty I hope sometimes I get confused about what's actually in there and what I remember from the interview. Right. So I believe Scotty Spiegel says, he'll find a tidbit from any film that what you would think is a horrible film. Mm-hmm. It's terrible, I can't watch that. He'd be like, no, but look at this and look at this reaction and look at this performance. And you go, yes, thank you, Quentin. Now you revisit that film and look at it differently. And he just sees that. That's how he dealt with me. Mm. I'm not going to interfere with your work. I believe he does this now across the board because he used to executive produce and step in and support a lot of films. Do you notice he doesn't do that anymore?
Right. Yeah. He used to do Curdled and a whole bunch of other things. Yeah.
But from what I understand, that kind of pulled back because when he would say, try this, or if he would give a note, they took it.
Right, because he's Quentin Tarantino.
Because he's Quentin Tarantino.
Right.
So I feel that he feels that he affected people's
visions.
That's
fascinating.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
So you brought up the stunt people. Like, obviously, Quentin seems to appreciate every aspect of filmmaking as well as his team and everybody he works with. And I love seeing Zoe Bell talk about seeing footage of her running up the stairs as the bride, and all of the crazy stunts in Kill Bill. It's my favorite. I love it so much. But then when they go to Death Proof and she's hanging from the car, I guess she kept her head down for a shot because that's what stunt people do, right? And Quentin's like, you're in this movie, like, you're an actress, like, you need to raise your head. You need to do it again with your head in the shot. Like,
what did she say? I think you're being a little fussy, Quentin.
Right.
Right, because it's almost like he keeps
like, What's
teaching
wrong?
people little things, and he's like, what's the one thing that's wrong? And she's like, I don't know, Quentin, everything's fine. It's like, no, what is the one thing? And it's like, she didn't show her face. Right. Because if she did that in her stunt work, the take is ruined. Right. So I found that fascinating.
Yeah,
You're learning all these new things.
But that's what's so cool about it. It seems like he does is that he elevates everybody's performance in every job they do, not just actors, but obviously, a stunt person that's already amazing and turning them into an actress, as well as you touched on like his love of music, like Michael Madsen talking about Stuck in the Middle with You and dancing to that, right? I just think it's so cool. Like, we're all nerding out here because we love him so much.
I love it. It's awesome.
So what do you hope people take from this movie? What was your intent in making this movie as well as something like the Richard Linklater documentary?
Just uncovering where they come from. I think Quentin comes from, I do think he's heart first. I think it starts there. I think that's what makes his character so amazing. That's what makes, he loves film. That's what makes his technical ability so perfect. I don't think there's anybody else who knows or is a master, not just knows, but is a master from the beginning of the process all the way through to the end. So creating those characters and the screenplay all the way through to marketing and distribution. Like he knows all of it as a master, not just like little pieces. He knows all, and that all comes from him loving it. Like he loves. That's where he spends his time, right?
And he seems to love a lot of different things because you have a movie when we talk about chapter 2 of your documentary where it's Badass Women in genre film. I love all the conversations everyone was having about how he doesn't really talk about like this is a female-driven movie, right? He doesn't say those things. He just presents a movie
because that's who he is,
right? And Kill Bill is a very, I guess if you call it feminist movie, but it's just showing women being badasses while continuing to be women, and he just showed that. Like he was just presenting that without talking about the fact that this is a female-driven movie. I love that.
Right. I found that with a lot of, since we're in this frame in our, in our culture, our society right now, when you look at female-driven films, they're like female-driven, and women stop and ponder their position, and they're like, "Oh, this is so hard." Like you don't see that with Quentin. He's like, "She goes." Actually, the Netflix show Unbelievable.
I
amazing.
just went through that. It's a great series.
So, outside of Quentin, that's the only time I feel where you're in that type of film, that driving film, and women just go. They don't stop and worry about themselves. They just go. That's the reality of how we work, right? You don't stop and think about how hard it is. Right. You just go get it done. And that's what all of his female characters do, because he's, again, going back to where he starts, he studies people. He studies everything about them. Right. He sits in a bar in Amsterdam and listens to their conversations and tries to understand where does that go from here. And so it's real and it's natural.
And I think he approaches race the same way, and I liked how your documentary tackled the N-word controversies.
Yeah, and he grew up, I think, around that area of Compton, and I don't want to be too specific. I think he moved around a bit. But yeah, he grew up with that. That's him. That's part of him. That's how they talk. Right. That's what so it's not. That's why he just goes for it. He doesn't have to wiggle around and go, "Oh, I wonder how this would go." No, it goes like this because this is how I heard it. This is what I grew up with. Right. This is part of me.
Yeah, and it was cool to see Jamie Foxx and Samuel L. Jackson both talking about their experience with Django, right? And how like Leo didn't want to say or was having a difficult time performing because he had to say the N-word. And Samuel is just like, "Look, motherfucker, you just have to do it."
It's like just another day.
Yeah. And then also Jamie Foxx talking about how Spike Lee, didn't want to see the movie. And it was just really cool seeing, the people that work with Quentin kind of talk about what it is actually, that he's just an honest writer, right? And because he does have critics that way. So I thought you did that very well.
Thank you. And that was an intent. That was definitely like, let's see how the people who work closely with him or closest with him feel about this stuff. And when we would start to go into those topics, they were defensive and like, that's not true. This is the truth. This is how it is. And Kurt Russell was very protective of Quentin's career overall and what the press does and how they attack him. But I think Sam Jackson and Jamie Foxx did a great job debunking the whole N-word bullshit.
Yeah, that was great.
Well, I thought you also brought in an interesting way of framing these stories by then when he's a little kid playing with action figures and he's like, motherfucker, and the mom's like, "Hey, you can't talk like that." He's like, "It's not me, it's the characters." Right. And that's how he seems to frame everything with his stories.
I love the story about how his pen is like his lightning rod to God and that he can't type scripts. Yeah. That was a great tidbit.
Yeah. Oh, and when he wanted to see the Linklater film, he would not watch a link.
Right. I had to see it on the big screen.
Right. So he had to send a DVD so they could project it so that it could be
nice.
Watched. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So one last question for you. Do you? I know we're running out of time. As much as we could nerd out on Quentin Tarantino for hours, can you tell us anything about? Do you know anything about his hopefully not last, future projects at all?
Nope. I don't.
Is there,
What I know.
It's Star Trek, isn't it?
Kill Bill 3?
Yeah, but think about what he does, right? The first 8 doesn't include 4 Rooms.
Right.
It doesn't include Dusk Till Dawn.
Right.
Does Star Trek fall into his?
That's
I don't
what we
know.
were- that's what we were
that's
talking about.
That's a co-production.
Right,
Right?
right.
That's not his baby. He could make it his. But would he consider that his 10th?
Yeah.
There's a lot of wiggle room.
I have one last question. Who would be next on your list after Linklater and Tarantino? Who's the next filmmaker you think you may profile?
I hope it's Tim Burton. I hope Tim Burton
It's a good one.
says, this is cool, let's do this.
I
Yeah.
will definitely be watching that because I love him. So, guys, thank you so much for being here, Tara. Guys, you have to watch this documentary. It's really great. It's called QT8, The First 8, and it is released everywhere on digital and on demand on December 3. So that's coming up. Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you so much, Tara.
Thank you.
We will be back.
Thank you.
Hey guys, it's Perry here to let you know that Movie Talk is moving. We've had a great time in this 3 p.m. Pacific slot, but guess what? We want you to start your day with Collider Movie Talk, so we're moving. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get a longer show with some brand new segments, so tune in starting Monday, September 16th, 9 a.m. Pacific. See you there.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, if you've been watching us every week, we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Riley here. Let me tell you about the Riley Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Riley Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue Brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hi, I'm Amy Dallin, one of the hosts of Collider Heroes, and starting right now, you can catch our show Tuesday nights with a new Collider Heroes and a longer Collider Heroes podcast, where Coy and I are gonna talk your ears off. You already know that's coming. So make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe, and find us on the Collider Heroes podcast feed for all of that sweaty goodness.
The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that horror-filled podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. And on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
Hello, welcome back. We have an hour left for you guys of this messy, amazing show that we love to be on.
Nonsense.
And so much nonsense.
Nonsense.
How cool was that interview? I love that. I love documentaries, especially when it comes to celebrating film. So
yeah, that documentary is one of the best I've seen for me, at least, when you're celebrating an auteur like Tarantino and then learning so much and then realizing that the person that is making these wonderful films just absolutely loves film. That's the one takeaway from that thing is how much he loves film. It is his church. He's going to put it on 70 millimeter if he can. He's going to fire you if you don't know your backstory. I know, I got it. Guess what, everybody?
What happened? What happened?
We got the screening for Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, are you? Let's talk about Jeff
So
Snyder's favorite topic.
He just showed me his press screening for Rise of Skywalker. So do you think Snoke's gonna be in it?
Who do you think Snoke's parents
Who
are?
do you think? Okay, let's get serious real quick. Who do you think Snoke is?
I don't know.
Come on, dude, play along.
How do you feel
Come
about
on.
Baby Yoda?
Who do you think? Do you think
Baby Yoda's Rey's parent?
Yeah. Is it Rey? Is Rey Baby Yoda? Is Baby Yoda Rey? Is Snoke Rey? Is Rey Baby Yoda? Is Snoke Baby Yoda's Rey's cousin's mother's sister's brother's former roommate?
What does that make them?
Absolutely nothing.
Nerds. Nathan, are you staying quiet because of all the shit you know?
I don't know. I know nothing. No, I don't know anything about episode 9.
You don't?
No. I'm staying.
Are you sure?
I love that.
Are you sure you don't?
I love that throwaway so much.
No, but seriously, Jeff, what are we talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who the Snoke is. I don't know who could be him.
No, but you just showed it.
He showed me the Rise of Skywalker press screening.
Yeah, they sent out an invite. I gotta say, I went to the Force Awakens premiere. I went to the Last Jedi premiere. It may be bad luck that I'm not invited to this episode 9 one.
Oh, so you're not getting
for the spin-offs. I didn't go to Solo or Rogue One.
Yeah, well,
but I'm just saying.
This
could be bad luck.
That's bad luck.
Of course, you get the invite, and none of us do, even though you're the one that hates it.
Mark said he got it.
Oh, you got it too. Okay, maybe I did.
I may or may not have gotten the. Yeah, no, I got it. It's right here.
Oh, okay,
I think I'm going to skip this one.
Are you boycotting it too? Yeah.
Yeah. Did you start a petition? You're like, I don't like the movies my dad is in.
No,
boycotting.
When the Game of Thrones nonsense happened, I tweeted, I'm starting a petition to remake the people who signed this petition.
We can do that too.
We got a lot of signatures.
Did you get a lot? Yeah.
Oh, anyway, so we're not talking about Star Wars. What are we talking about today, Mark?
Well, why don't we go into the biggest news that I saw dropping today? And that's Jeff Snyder not getting the invite to the premiere of Rise of Skywalker.
It could still happen. I got to talk to people at Disney.
So you want to go even though you don't even
It's a great
like
place to rub shoulders. It's an absolute shit show and a circus. Like the security is a nightmare, but I've come away with some good stories out of Star Wars premieres because I take a source. I take a source and the source rewards me.
Right.
It's a reward for them, and I get rewards.
How come we never see you at those? Because we go to those all the time.
Because I haven't been to the last couple, to Solo, to Rogue One.
But you did
I don't
go
know
to
if I knew
Solo.
you
Force
back
Awakens,
in the Force
Last
Awakens
Jedi,
time. I don't know if I knew you back then.
Well, that's when I met some
when
of
we
these
met-
people
yeah.
at Force Awakens, right? We met
Ellis and Harloff and Campia.
Yeah, we met all those guys. Well, you had known them already, and then you introduced
But not,
them.
from Twitter. And
I bust my ass to avoid Star Wars all year, and then they invite me? It's unbelievable.
Hashtag Galaxy Gate.
You shots across the bow.
Where are our shirts, Nathan? I thought you were designing some.
Oh, no, that's old news.
No old news.
Well,
So,
anyways.
I wanted to actually get into this news because with Jeff Snyder here, something interesting that happened yesterday. We wake up in the morning for Collider Live, and Joker 2 has been announced. That's what we hear from THR. Then Deadline and Variety is like, whoa. not so fast. Now today, Todd Phillips is saying there hasn't even been a meeting. So what Jeff Snyder especially, I want to go to you, because how does something like this happen across for very reputable trades? Like, why?
You guys, this is all bullshit. All of it. Okay?
You said it here.
It's
Great.
the same thing with Sony and Marvel and Spider-Man, okay?
Okay.
This is all a ruse for you.
Expand, please. What does that mean?
So
Is it just to get the nerds riled up?
Do I think that there has not been a meeting? No, that's absurd. Like, the movie made $1 billion.
Yeah.
They've definitely had Todd Phillips in to be like, oh my God, man, you just made us a ton of money. Like, what more can we do? Let's explore some stuff. Deadline's follow-up story. You might as well have put a byline on it by Todd Feldman, who is Todd Phillips' agent at CAA. It was so clearly dictated by CAA to Mike Fleming, where they're like, no, there's no sequel. You don't have Todd Phillips. You don't have anything. Like, because he's got a wheel and deal.
Right.
The whole sequel options thing with Joaquin, like I think THR said he had sequel options. I'm surprised because I thought this was supposed to be a one-off. Like this, like I don't understand where the idea of a sequel came from. Nobody obviously was anticipating this kind of success. Maybe they baked that into the contract in the event that there was this kind of success. But it seems strange to me that Joaquin would sign on to this if they actually had sequel options, because that's the whole reason he didn't do Doctor Strange, is he didn't want to keep coming back to do sequels.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday.
You sound like you're on rumor mill right now, by
There's
the
the
way.
dark side stuff, like where it's like we're going to explore a solo picture on dark side. That's ridiculous. There's no dark side movie coming. Like, I don't know where that came from. That's nonsense. So
I didn't hear that one.
Oh yeah, that was in the report. I mean,
Wait, just Dark Side movie?
Yeah, like a Joker type of movie, but for Darkseid, like
Okay,
exploring
yeah.
the origin.
I
No,
mean,
no.
I would watch that.
Just Darkseid sitting on a throne.
Listen, if Warner Brothers
Maybe.
does this
Why not?
again, it's going to be Lex Luthor, obviously.
Yes.
You
right?
think so?
Yeah,
I would love
What
that.
else could they do? There's no other villain that it merits this kind of treatment besides.
Why not?
Well, they could go down Batman's
specifically
Rogue Gallery.
In DC, like, hello.
Yeah, people were
there's-
like Deathstroke the movie. No, like that's not happening.
No, but what about Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, Scarecrow? There's all of the DC.
Because Catwoman is in Batman now, like
And Penguin and
she
Riddler.
is actively being used. Lex Luthor is not being used technically right now.
But they could still do a one-off though, like Joker, if this is not having a sequel.
I don't see a Catwoman stand. I mean, that didn't go well. That did not go well when they tried that.
But I want to know this. I'm going to read the quote from Phillips, and this was courtesy. He was speaking to IndieWire, and it's, here's the real truth about a sequel. While Joaquin and I have talked about it, and while touring the world with Warner Brothers executives, going to Toronto and Venice and other places,
Right.
of course, we're sitting
Comes
at
up on the
dinner,
plane,
and
yeah.
they're saying, so have you thought about ...
Yeah,
But
like, what would it
talking
look
about
like?
contracts, there's not a contract for us to even write a sequel. We've never approached Joaquin to be in a sequel. Will that happen? Again, I just think the article was anticipatory at best. So
Boom.
there's a spin here. I mean,
But
I'm
there are
trying to
elements
suss
of
out what
truth to it.
Right.
Tatiana said that they're in talks. Talks and discussions, they mean the same thing, but they actually are different.
Right.
Talks denote something official, like a negotiation, and I completely get that there is no deal here. The same way in the Soderbergh story that I did earlier this week, none of those actors have deals.
Right.
But Soderbergh has talked to them directly about it, so their agents may not be aware of anything. There may not be any paperwork, but these actors are planning to carve out their, a spot this summer to do that Soderbergh movie. And I'm sure it's the same thing here. To an agent, there's nothing. This is fictional. This is nothing.
Right.
But where there's smoke, there's fire. And when you make $1 billion, yeah, someone's going to want to try to continue that.
Jeff, I have a question to make your snidey senses tingle.
Ooh, I like that.
So do you feel like because of the way media's changed and because of the way we get our nerd news now, right, with everything so immediate, with social media, et cetera, whereas back in the day that wasn't the case, do you think that outlets are having easier, more difficult time? Or do you think studios in general and agents are annoyed by this? Do you think it helps them? It helps their business?
I think that both Hollywood Reporter stories, because they both came on the same day. It was the Kathleen Kennedy story
Right.
and the Joker story.
Right.
It felt like an editor being like, hey, what's going on with the Joker sequel? Or, hey, what's going on with Kathleen Kennedy? And while those questions may not have been ready to have been answered on that day, that's when they wanted to do something. We want something in this week's issue about, these two hot questions that everybody's asking.
Right.
So they sort of do your best to try to answer them and write an article that makes sense and is a snapshot of where things are in the moment. But really, it's just premature on both fronts,
But it's not something new. It's not like the internet's changed this.
I think that there's a lot of pressure to absolutely, because the trades aren't just competing with themselves anymore; they're competing with everybody. But then you have morons on Twitter who are saying, "Well, Paramount spent $35 million on Sonic the Hedgehog redesigns." It's like there's no way even Paramount is stupid enough to spend $35 million to redesign Sonic. I'm sure it was like a third of that tops. And then trade had to follow up on that report. So everybody gets things wrong. Just because it's in a trade doesn't mean that it's gospel.
Right.
Okay. It's just we are better informed than the anonymous Twitter accounts that you hear throwing out random budget numbers that they've heard.
I don't know.
So-and-so.
That egg looked pretty odd.
It's an incredible egg.
3 egg sources
that's where
have
Nathan
said.
gets his news by the Twitter bots, actually.
So the real question is then, based on all this smoke, and if there is truly fire for this, do you believe that Joaquin Phoenix could come back for a Joker 2 because money really does talk? I mean, this thing made over $1 billion now.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell with Joaquin because he's the kind of actor who I would say normally would not care about money and he wouldn't do things for the money. But at the same time, he may never have really had a payday. I don't know what his deal looked like for Joker, but there are obviously in that THR report, it claims that Todd Phillips is going to walk away with $100 million.
God damn.
Now, that's because he deferred his upfront payment the same way he did with the Hangover. So, he made a killing on that movie. It sounds like he's made another killing here. I don't know if Joaquin structured his deal the same way, if he got maybe a flat $10 million fee. I mean, $10 million seems high for Joaquin. A flat $5 million fee or something like that for Joker? Or is it some gigantic balloon payment now? I don't know.
I mean, I think it really, for Joaquin, by what it looks like, his craft, what he does to prepare for roles and what he does and disappears into them, it's all going to be about the story. If it's interesting to him.
Exactly. And I have a hard time believing that they will top this movie. I thought this movie was excellent.
Right. It's going to be hard to catch lightning in a bottle twice.
And that's what makes me, I would love to see Joaquin as the Joker because we only got to see him as full-on Joker the last third of the movie, right? This movie is him becoming the Joker. But at the same time, I love the movie so much. I think it's great. I will only change 2 things. And I don't know if I want a sequel because I just don't think it's going to be as good.
I don't. I would be surprised that he'd want to go back to that.
Yeah.
I mean, and have to change his body all over again and everything. Right. It's a lot on an actor. It's physically demanding. He's getting up there.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's got to be around 50, no?
Yep. Well,
48?
I don't know. It's we're all getting up there, I guess.
I mean, the real question, though, is he going to be in a movie with Batman?
He's 45, so I did age him. Forgive me, Joaquin.
Yeah. But do you think that what Warner Brothers is doing?
No, I don't think that he should have anything to do with the Matt Reeves thing. If Matt Reeves decides to bring in the Joker, it won't be in this movie.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be he's supposed to do a trilogy, right? Maybe it'll be in the third film of that trilogy where he brings back the Joker, but I don't think it'll be Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. He should exist in his own 80s universe from Todd Phillips.
Because
or 90s, I don't know.
I could see Joaquin Phoenix just not giving a shit about Batman in a story that would have his Joker as much as I want to see it. And I was saying yesterday, I'm like, I want to see this Joker and a Batman in this universe. I don't think Joaquin Phoenix is the type of person that wants that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And again, goes to your point, Jeff, about how big of a payday did he get? Can a big payday change his mind?
Yeah, I don't. It's like Jeff said. It's with these types of actors, if they have the luxury to pick their, roles, I don't think they go because of the money, right? I don't think they pick roles. I mean, I guess some do. There's people like Gary Oldman that are working all the time that make 3 movies a year, and I don't even know what the movies are, and they're just like, maybe I need a new house. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's on a haunted boat in his latest movie, isn't he? Gary Oldman. Didn't I see that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nathan, what did you think of the Joker?
It's in my top 3 of
good.
the year. Yeah,
Because
I saw it twice.
Because when I was texting with you about
I liked it better the second time, actually.
Yeah, because the first time you saw it, you're like, "Oh, I liked it," and I was like,
"You son of a bitch!"
But what do you mean you loved it? No, no. He's like, "I liked it." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's really good though." So you seem excited.
And I went back and saw it again and appreciated it even more. So yeah.
Yeah, the second time I even got way nerdier about it. I loved it so much.
That one, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And has anyone seen The Irishman?
God, I still haven't seen it
I have
yet.
not. Jeff,
Those
did
are
you
my
see
top
it?
3.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I thought it was good. It was very good. It's not top tier Scorsese for me by any measure. I don't think it was anywhere close to Goodfellas or Casino or even The Departed and Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
But it may play to the Academy because they're a little bit older and more reflective, and it is that kind of movie. It's a little bit slower.
Where's Kate?
But to me, it felt like a Jimmy Hoffa movie. It's not about The Irishman. It sort of becomes this Jimmy Hoffa movie for an hour and a half in the middle of it. And, I don't know. I thought the performances were all really good. It should be a nominee across the board.
What did you think of the de-aging stuff?
Some scenes it looked better than others.
Yeah. It took me out of it at
it's
first,
distracting,
and
right?
then you kind of
That's
get
with all
used
of
to
this.
it.
Yeah. Pesci's great, though. To me,
Oh, yeah.
watching Joe Pesci, I don't know if I'd ever seen him on the big screen outside of maybe Home Alone when I was a little kid, because I certainly wasn't seeing Casino at 11 years old. So to watch him do his thing was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Home Alone 2 was on last night. Did you know that?
That's true. I definitely saw that in the
I
theaters.
saw it, yeah.
What I feel like Home Alone 2 for me was, I love the first one so much. It's probably the movie I've seen the most in the theaters with my family. Like
Was
we
Home
saw it
Alone?
the first one. We saw it like 8 times, and we laughed our asses off the entire time. But the second one, I felt bad for the burglars because he basically almost kills them.
Yeah,
I've never seen the
that's-
second one.
What?
So we're checking out.
Lost in New York, dude.
Unbelievable. Okay, let's. We'll end a little bit early, and let's put on. Home Alone 2 hit me in the feels for some reason, maybe because of just the time in my life. I remember going with my high school girlfriend, and we were just like, "Oh, we love this movie." But yeah, thank God Kevin almost killed him. That's what's so funny about
No,
it.
I felt bad for them. Anyways, so
truly
we're
are
going to
evil.
open up the phone lines in a little bit, but we also have some nerd news that Nathan is very interested in.
Yeah, RoboCop.
RoboCop. Okay, yeah.
Here we go, guys. So, as you know, Neil Blomkamp was going to do a RoboCop sequel to the first movie. You know, that's all the rage now. We forget all these other movies and we just pick up after the original. But then he dropped out, and I can't remember why. Do you know, Jeff, why Blomkamp dropped out of the project? Was it creative differences kind of thing?
That sounds about right.
So now we have the Little Monsters director.
The Fred Savage movie?
Abe Forsyth. No, this was Lupita Nyong'o, right?
Good
That's a
joke.
good one.
Good joke. I
That's
guess.
a good
throwback.
one.
Yeah.
And Howie Mandel, right?
Oh, that's right.
Boom.
My
Abe Forsyth is coming on to do another version of the script and direct this, and it still will take place after the first RoboCop. So it's a direct sequel.
What else has he done?
Little Monsters, and that's all I see.
That's
Do you know, Jeff?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Who was Forsyth? What he's done other than Little Monsters?
Didn't he do the Juno Temple movie, Dirty Girl?
I'm looking here. Let's.
I don't
You know
think
what? We have an
anybody's seen
internet,
it.
so let me just go ahead and
You
look
have a
up his
Google?
name.
Can you
I
Google
have a
it?
Google, so
Yeah.
we can look it up.
There
But
you go. So
Or maybe that's
Na-
Abe Sylvia.
Nathan,
yeah.
what did you see the reboot?
The reboot?
Yeah, what did you think?
Yeah.
Because you're a
the
huge
first
RoboCop
one,
fan.
Yeah, it's
like
one of
you-
my favorites. So yeah, I went to go. I thought it was fine. It wasn't great, but I was there opening night because
nerd.
I'll see anything the RoboCop stars in.
that's one of your jams.
Yeah.
The original RoboCop is one of the best. I
It is.
fucking love that movie
It's a
so
great
much.
fucking movie.
It's a great movie. So Forsyth.
Do you want? So do you care, or you're just gonna see it because it's RoboCop?
Yeah, it's.
Okay.
I haven't seen his movies, but I'll check it out. But yeah, I'm there.
Okay, we're gonna go.
yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Are we gonna see Sonic on Valentine's
I
Day?
feel like we should all see Sonic for sure and Cats together.
Oof.
Definitely Cats. You're not gonna see Cats. It's gonna be so funny.
Maybe.
Cat Idris Elba. Would you?
I'll go if you go.
Okay.
But I'm not. I wouldn't go by myself.
Okay, well, that's my favorite soundbite right now. Cody, can you open up the phone lines, please? Please call us with questions. You want to talk Tarantino? You want to talk other nerd movies? RoboCop, Joker? You want to try your Joker laugh and compete against my Joker laugh? Which somebody said that apparently I sound like I'm doing the Mexican yell, el grito, which
Oh, my Lord.
which I actually think it's kind of accurate. So, and please feel free to meow at us, Cody. That's my favorite
I know.
stuff with like soundbite to do. There you go. Oh.
Is that actually a call?
Yeah. So you are on Collider Live. Who are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing great today. I hope you guys are doing great as well.
What's your
thank
name?
you.
My name's Greg, actually. I'm from Orlando.
Oh.
Welcome from Orlando.
Florida man.
I love you.
I don't think you can hear it, but yeah, Orlando is
They're
playing in our
Orlando,
ears.
Greg. What do you got for us today?
Well, first, let me start by saying Cody is awesome. His comedic timing is amazing.
Yep.
He
Thanks,
should
buddy.
definitely be
Yes.
on the camera a little bit more often.
He should
and
be.
the Orlando live event was amazeballs.
Nice. You got it.
so my
You got the
question-
Orlando
my-
plane.
Thanks, Cody. So my question to all of you guys, actually, and if you'd like to think about this for a little bit, take your time. My question is, if you could go to any restaurant in any movie, what would you go to and what might you order? If you need an example, my particularly good choice was in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. At the end of the movie, they say, let's go to the restaurant at the edge of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I would order because I can't pronounce any of those names. You know that.
That's a great question, Greg. Thank you. Do you guys have
Great
any?
question.
The first thing that comes to mind is Jack Rabbit Slims, because we've been talking about
Right.
Tarantino.
Yeah.
Either that or McDowell's from Coming to America, so I could compare how much it's like McDonald's.
Oh, that's your. Or
That's a
but
good
then
call.
in that case though, then a big Kahuna
Oh, yeah.
from Pulp Fiction.
They have those Hawaiian burgers, I hear.
Yeah, I feel like if they have it with Hawaiian bread, especially.
Yeah, that one went to my head, and the deli in When Harry Met Sally, where she does the famous orgasm scene.
Because you want to order the same thing she's
I want to
having.
have what she's having, but they just look like damn good pastrami sandwiches.
That place exists, though, you know.
I know
You
it
can
does,
go there.
and I've never been,
Oh,
so that's why I get to go. But can I go? Can I add this little wrinkle? Can I go when the scene is happening? So these famous scenes that we have, we're like literally an extra. So we're like sitting there. So you see me eating a pastrami sandwich and going,
and having an orgasm.
what the hell is she? Yeah, I can have an orgasm too. I can do that.
You're like, I can fake it.
Wouldn't you have one right now?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I'm
let's
not
see,
doing that.
Let's see everybody's impression of Sally. Come on. Come on, Mark. Cody?
Did you see somebody tagged
what's
me?
his name?
Walter.
Yeah, Walter. the
Somebody
dog.
tagged me on another one where it's like he's in a like a Jeep waiting for like service at the Jeep dealership, and Walter's in the car just doing that because he's pissed that he's sitting there and having to wait. It's hysterical. Have you seen
my
this?
gosh.
On Collider Live, do you know what this is?
Cody, can
there's
you
a
please
famous.
find Walter?
There's a famous.
I work in the mornings, guys.
Oh,
I work.
Oh, look at
Sometimes.
you.
Why are you
Please.
calling this not work? What do you mean? We're working here. We're saying stupid shit online on live TV.
Are you working at home when you're not at the office? Is that what's going on?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah.
No,
You son
anyway.
of a bitch. Work my ass.
Oh, here we go. So this is Walter the Frenchie, now very famous amongst Collider Live loyal fans.
I was going to
And-
say that didn't sound like Meg Ryan.
Or what's the Doug Benson orgasm noise, Nathan?
Oh God.
That's my favorite.
Well, I didn't get to answer the
There he
question here.
Well, we're going back around. There he is.
That's what that dog sounds like?
Yeah.
Oh, I would fucking leave that dog in a parking lot.
But look at him.
How
Would
dare
you
you?
really?
Oh my God, who could stand that?
Without looking, and I don't know if you've already seen it. You looked. You son of a bitch.
What?
Just how many views that thing has.
Oh, 1.5. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you
anyway.
believe it?
So Jeff, what's your answer? Thank you, Cody.
I would go, I have two. Either movies from the View Askew universe.
Yeah, movies.
Or
Okay.
the diner from Diner.
There it is.
Ah,
I'd
okay.
not get a grilled cheese
You know-
with bacon.
You know where I would like to go is the diner in Back to the Future. Because it looks. Does that exist? That was just a studio, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it. Oh,
Now,
well.
are you talking the future diner that he goes to
No,
again?
because
Or
then they
the
have the
regular
3D Jaws coming out, and that used to scare me as a kid, and I didn't like that. So
That
no.
scared you?
Yes, because I'm
love
terrified
it.
of sharks. Remember, sharks and snakes.
We should really break that down. Why, of all people, why do sharks scare you, and yet you can cast spells and levitate and
Because
drink
they
blood?
have dead
and
zombie eyes, and then their teeth are triangles, and then each of
There's
the
like a
teeth
bunch of
has a
them?
bunch of little triangles, and it's just not normal. And they look like they're dead inside, and they just look at you with those dead eyes. Same with snakes. Both snakes and sharks do not have shoulders, so that's just weird.
Math checks
Yeah,
out.
so
Yeah.
Oh,
anyways.
They can't wear ties.
Cody, do you have Alex, do you guys have an answer for the food movie question?
Pizza Planet from Toy Story and
Yes!
Pixar universe. That's mine.
Nice.
Let's go grab a beer at the Winchester from Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nathan, we should have said that.
Yeah, why didn't you?
We had good picks.
Yeah, that's true.
Fucked up, Nathan.
Come on.
Can we redo this?
Well,
Yeah, Nathan.
We'll wait for this to all blow over.
I want a $5 shake. I'm sorry.
You are on Collider Live. Where are you meowing from?
Hey, this is Court from Virginia. How are you guys?
Hey, Court.
Hey, Court. How's it going? What do you got for us?
It's going well. Hey, so calling in because of this Martin Scorsese controversy. I know it's controversy. Everyone's been talking about it. But as a fan, there's this incredible thing where the whole community has come out to defend their favorite movie. And it's created this great conversation about what is a superhero movie. So I've really enjoyed listening to that conversation. So my question for y'all is, what do you think is the next conversation that we as fans should have about these movies?
Cool. Great question.
Thank you.
I mean, how much? Let's peel back the layers. What? It seems like I don't know what the next conversation will be until I guess it starts happening. But these conversations seem to change. Like even when Joker comes out, it changes the conversation. Scorsese says one thing, changes the conversation.
But when did this really start, though? I feel like it didn't start with just Scorsese. Do you think it started when maybe Disney started becoming more of a monopoly and people started getting a little bit more upset at possibly not getting their movies funded? Or like, what do you think, Jeff? Because I'm curious as an in-Snyder.
Yeah, and especially for you, dude, because I know that these movies don't necessarily do it for you.
In terms of what is the next question that we should be asking, I think it's do these movies need to cost so much?
Right.
I think that Joker is a real lesson that story matters. Like, isn't that why all you guys like all this Marvel and DC shit? Because you read it in a comic book, and the comic book costs $4. We bring our imaginations to these things. Obviously, we want a little bang for our buck. If we're going to the movies, we don't, and we want to see these characters. Yeah, we want them fighting, we want some stuff, but I don't know that these movies need to cost $200 million anymore. I think that they can really be scaled down and still achieve the same thing. That's why I think people are going to the movies is for great stories. That's why I know I go.
I mean, those were my favorite movies of the year were probably all lower budget. I'm trying to think of maybe like how much did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood cost?
That was like 100.
Probably 100, yeah.
Right. So that was probably the highest, but everything.
But you have to recreate period though and everything. Like
right.
That.
But wasn't Joker? I mean, it was considered low budget, but it was still 90 or 60.
No, it was 60? Like 55, 60. Yeah.
Yeah, but compared to
before
like
marketing,
Endgame,
obviously, but
like Endgame's budget was what?
Endgame could have cost $250
$1
million.
billion.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, so why are they doing this? Do you think they really need to do this and from a visual standpoint, or is it just the fact that they have all these crazy contracts with a bunch of big actor names?
It's all
Is
that.
it marketing? Like, what is the problem?
Well, it's all that. I mean, you can't make Endgame without making it a $300 million budget with all the actors they have and all the effects that warrant the story. The story was going for however many films, getting to this point where you're bringing back all the MCU all together in a big blockbuster battle. So I understand why it costs what it does. But I understand where you're coming from too. I would love to see a Man of Steel 2 that costs $70 million. Because what would that mean for a storyteller? I think of Jaws, right? Jaws didn't work.
Right.
The shark didn't work, so he had to get creative and figure it out on how to make that primal feeling that the shark is there. But if it's Superman, how does a filmmaker do it without $200 million? So he flies around and takes on Darkseid or however it does.
But it creates for more. I feel like it lends for more creativity, and that's
correct.
As a horror fan, I feel like that's the best genre example to see how many amazing horror movies we've gotten that are very low budget. Blumhouse is obviously a great example of that, and so you don't need this crazy special effects, epic thing to make a good, like Jeff says, to make a good story.
Anytime you can focus on story over spectacle, I think it's a win for the audience. And I think that studios are still interested in selling spectacle. And part of that is, overseas markets, really are into that kind of stuff. It's why Transformers makes $1 gazillion in China or whatever.
Yeah, perfect example.
Because they just want this. But I think that,
What's this?
Those are robots fucking.
Is that a Decepticon?
And I think that, television is actually having an effect on American audiences, and it's like we're more comfortable with like these limited series and things that are more character driven now. And I think that, I don't know, this sort of laid the groundwork and primed us all for a film like Joker, which doesn't have all the slam bang action. It's just a really good story, and look at how it's as profitable as Endgame, even though it made a third as much as Endgame.
Right, because my thing is, I feel like a nerd loser because we grew up reading these comic books. We grew up as fans of these Batman, Tim Burton movies, etc. That now we are spoiled. And we have all of these Star Wars movies. We have all of these superhero movies. But I'm trying to think of, out of all of those dozens of movies that we have, how many of those do I actually rewatch? Right? And this year specifically, like, I really enjoyed Endgame. I haven't seen it. I saw it one time in the theater.
You're crazy.
Why?
I'm just
no,
kidding.
because there's other movies that I would rather see again. Not because that doesn't mean I didn't like it, but at some point, a lot of these movies become this third act of just action sequences where you lose the character story and the emotional stuff like that. It just, and maybe it's a personal thing, but that's how I felt recently.
No, and I think it is because I've seen Endgame probably 3 times or maybe even 4. Because I grew up. Thank you very much, Cody. You should. And I've seen probably Infinity War like 5.
Oh, good for you.
And like Civil War like probably 6.
Oh, good.
Just keep going. No, but I grew up with the blockbuster movies. It just is something about it that gets me in the feels every time. And I can criticize it too by saying, oh yeah, it's just a bunch of shit going together at the very end. But if it's done well, like the Marvel movies, and even the Batman v Supermans and Man of Steels that I love, it's not Marvel or DC. It's just I love those movies. But at the same point, I turn around and see Transformers, and I hate those movies because they don't get me. So there's something in blockbuster movies that you have to hit some certain story elements that do affect me, but that's my taste. So I can understand for you when you say Parasite is your favorite. It's like, well, yeah.
Yeah, like I'd rather watch that again than, like Infinity War.
And maybe for me, it's like a warm blanket. I love to put on these movies.
I just want a Lobo movie.
Yeah, Lobo movie is, I do
favorite.
too. Is Lobo your favorite? Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I mean, we were
So
supposed to
would
get
be your
one.
dream
The dark
direct-
sense of humor where I think Lobo's back issue 2, he kicks a guy in the crotch and his spine pops out his back. I'm like,
see, I want to see that.
Who would be your dream cast or director for that?
Then back in the day, Danny Trejo would have been good.
Oh, that's a good
I think you
choice.
could still have him do it.
I love that Walter is behind Jeff Snyder, who hates him.
Yeah, Walter's just chilling there.
You're on Collider Live. Where are you meowing from?
This is Brian from Miami, Florida.
Hey, Brian.
Florida man.
How are you? What do you got for us?
So I got 2 questions. The first one is for everybody here on the table. What do you think are your top 5 movies so far for Oscar contention right now that are pretty much like your favorite movies? And then the second question is a little bit of a hypothetical. Had the first 3 Terminator movies been the only Terminator movies that came out, like the first one, Judgment Day, and then Rise of the Machines, you forget about the other 3 movies, would that have been a good trilogy to just rewatch all the time?
Thank you for your question, Brian.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Well, for the Terminator one, I think I didn't like Rise of Machines, so I mean, but I put another hypothetical. I thought where he was going with this, if it was just those 3 with Dark Fate,
I think it would have done better.
I think it would have done better too, because we had Salvation and Jenny Smith, and we were like, they're both awful. And we also had a Sarah Connor Chronicles TV show in there at one point, which was pretty good for the most part, but didn't last very long, and was just adding to the pile of all the Terminator material out there.
Genesis was 2016, so it'd only been a couple,
right?
Or maybe 17.
Did you see the new one yet?
15. Okay.
Did you see the new one yet?
No, I wanted to. Is it still out?
Do you think so? No, you should go
think you
see
can
it
see
before
it.
they take it out, because I don't know if anybody's watching it.
I might wait for video.
Any thoughts, Jeff?
Yeah.
Do you not care on Terminator?
I mean, the first 2 movies are really good. I mean, the second one is a classic.
Yeah.
And I like this most recent one. But yeah, Rise of Machines, no good. So the trilogy would not have been great. It would have ended with a whimper.
Yeah, nobody's going to watch the three of them, I think they would just watch 1 and 2 over and over again.
That's
But-
what I would show to, like, if somebody had never seen Terminator, that's what I would be like, watch for 1 and 2,
Yeah.
and then you're done.
And
You don't
you're
need
done.
to see anything else.
But the first part is top 5 and what's going to be nominated.
Right.
We have for your considerations Jeff Snyder here. What's your picks?
In terms of what I think is going to win or be
Your
nominated,
top
or my
5
favorites.
Well, he did say favorite Oscar contenders that you think are
Like,
the Oscar contenders.
I mean, Marriage Story,
Mm-hmm.
Joker, The Farewell was a favorite, Jojo Rabbit.
Yes.
And then I guess Ford vs. Ferrari.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I really did love Judy. I think that is a much better movie than it's given credit for. It's not just a performance film.
Right.
I love the whole thing.
When does that come out?
It's out. It came out in like September.
See,
really?
that's
Is
the
it like on
thing.
Netflix? Like, how do people watch it?
I don't know. Like, they got to get the screeners out for that one. My aunt and uncle dragged me to that movie. I
Right.
didn't grow up with Judy Garland. I didn't really care about it. But it was wonderful.
Okay. What about you, Nathan? Any Oscar contender favorites?
I'm just going to say my favorites because I don't. I haven't thought about what's going to win, but my top 3 would be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Joker, The Irishman, and Young Guns 1 and Young Guns 2.
That's a good call, man.
Balthazar, yeah.
Oh, good for you.
We're going to get that.
Mark?
Real quick, How to Train Your Dragon 3 is going to be nominated for Best Animated, so I can say that because it's one of my favorites. Joker, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. We'll see what happens when the platform comes out. That's one of my favorites, and I know that I'm going to love Parasite and Jojo Rabbit. Just haven't seen those yet. Thank you.
Yes, agreed. You are on Collider Live. Who are you and where are you meowing from? Meow to you as well.
What's going on? This is Scotty from Monterey. How are you?
Hey,
Scotty. How are you? You got a question for us today?
Doing well. I do. I was going to ask, what are your favorite fictional bands from film? For example, a couple of my favorites are the Soggy Bottom Boys from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yes.
And then Infant Sorrow from Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Nice.
Infant Sorrow.
Great question, Scotty. Thank you.
I mean, hey, where's my bike?
That's true.
Do you
That's a
know
good
that
one.
band?
Do you not know Nathan?
Do you know what that is? Come on. Reality Bites. Ethan Hawke's band and Reality Bites.
That's a good movie.
That's a great movie.
I
We
love
just
that
watched
movie
that
so
like 2 weeks ago, and I forget
I'm
how
gonna
fun
have
that is.
My first thought was, because I actually owned the soundtrack, and we talked about it when Clark Wolf was here recently. That Thing You Do, The Wonders,
Yeah,
or The
That Thing You Do.
Oneaters.
The Oneaters.
Yes, I love all of their songs on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go with the Shitty Beatles because it's a clever name.
Shitty Beatles. That's right.
Wild Stallions for life,
There you
dog.
go. Yeah,
Wild Stallions.
9 months from today it comes out.
That's right.
9
Really?
months. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you super excited?
I'll be there.
We will be there.
When you said 9 months, I was like, Christopher Columbus is 9 months with
I know.
Hugh Grant and
Julianne
Julianne Moore. Was there a
An
band in
underrated
that?
romantic comedy.
Totally, I
With
love
Robin
it.
Williams,
Robin
Tom
Williams,
Arnold. They punch a
Joan
big
Cusack.
Barney mascot in the store. That was
Yeah.
really funny to me as a kid because I hated Barney.
I love it.
Yeah.
You know what's an underrated movie band? The band in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
Oh,
The vampire
that's
band,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
they
a
end up
great
playing a
soundtrack,
body.
too.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
band. They
when-
got some good songs. Down,
When they're playing when Salma Hayek's dancing with the gross snake.
Scott Pilgrim in the World versus the World.
Oh,
Their
that's
band.
right. Sex Bob-omb.
Sex Bob-omb,
Yeah. I love that.
Mhm.
That's great.
You guys creating Sing Street and Sing Streak?
Sing Street!
Oh, good job,
Drive
Cody.
it like you stole it.
Yes.
Such an underrated
Thank you,
movie.
Cody.
Thank you, Cody, for bringing that up. Everybody, if you
welcome.
haven't seen Sing Street, it's one of the coolest music films. I love it so much. Alex, you got one?
The School of Rock.
Oh.
Also great music movie.
That's a good one. I'm trying to think of more. There's got to be more out there. I'm just tired, I guess.
Yeah. Does Wayne's World count?
Wayne's World?
Wayne and Garth? Do
Yeah.
they count? Yeah, can we do that one?
Why not?
Anyway. Oh, anyways. What else? Let us know when somebody meows Cody, please. What else do we got?
You
Mark?
want for news?
Yes.
You want to do some more news?
Oh,
I like it.
we have a call, actually.
Do it.
You are on Collider Live. Meow to you.
Wow, I can't believe I actually got in.
Nice.
You're welcome.
What's your name?
It was all Jeff Snyder.
Hey, this is Sam from Atlanta.
Hey, Sam.
Hi, Sam. How are you? What's going on?
I'm actually homesick today, which is why I'm able to watch you guys live for a game.
Great.
Do
Not that you're
you
sick,
guys
but thanks
have-
for calling in.
Do you guys have a go-to like sick day movie when you just are at home, you can't do anything? Do you have a go-to like comfort movie that you just kind of put on days like that when you just can't do anything?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you, Simon. I hope you feel better soon. My first thought, we just talked about it, Addams Family Values. I love that movie so much. It makes me very happy because I think
Would you say a superior sequel?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, the first one's great, but the second one is just, I mean, you got, what's her name? Joan Cusack.
She's
the
so first
amazing
one
in it.
was whether
Uncle Fester
was an imposter, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas the second one, Joan Cusack marries Fester for his. She wants the Addams Family money.
Right.
And so then they send the kids to camp. They send Wednesday and Pugsley to camp, and I think it's the coolest, most healthy romantic relationship that we've seen in any fiction. Morticia and Addams.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Morticia and Gomez are like the coolest anti-suburban, like gothic couple that I've always
I thought you were
wanted.
going to say Wednesday and the kid from camp.
No, because remember she scares them to death at the end. Spoilers.
I love that.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I always go to some of my favorite top 5 films,
Right.
like because they just like warm blankets, like I was talking about.
Yeah.
When Harry Met Sally is one that I'll just throw in because it's just I love it so much.
Even though you don't want to do the fake orgasm noise.
That's correct. I don't want to do the fake orgasm. Sideways is another one that I love so much. I'll put in a Superman 1978 and just sit back and just love it. And Empire Strikes Back. I'll do that every once in a while.
Jeff?
That's Star Wars, Jeff.
Yeah.
These are movies to watch when you're sick.
That
Yeah,
you
you
watch,
like home
that make
and
you feel
comfort
good.
Ferris Bueller.
That's another one.
Yes.
That's a good one, my friend. Thank you.
And always Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and
Oh, yeah.
Confused. That's a good one.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller is a great one, man. I love it so much. Nathan?
Young Guns too. No,
That's
honestly,
very true.
When it came out on Blu-ray last winter, I think I watched it once a day.
Let's cast a fictional version of Young Guns 3.
Okay.
Who would be in the cast?
Oh
And
boy.
of course, John Cena. And who would you pick from the original cast, too?
Yeah, you get one slot for an original cast.
When does it
member.
take place? 'Cause Billy is supposedly dead, unless it was
brushy Bill Roberts.
Oof, let me think.
I mean, I'm going to just go with Billy the Kid, so we're going to need Emilio Estevez. That's my one.
So Emilio is your one. What about you guys?
LDP.
LDP. Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah.
That's a good
Frick yeah,
I'd like
man.
to see Sam Rockwell in a Young Guns movie.
Ooh, he would be
That's a
great
good
choice.
call.
I like that. It's good.
What about you, Jeff?
A new actor who I'd like to see.
You know
I
who
mean,
would be great because of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I was thinking Brad Pitt and even Leo.
I was thinking more character actor. I just like Shea Wiggum in anything.
Who's that?
Well, then,
Shea Wiggum.
Mhm.
Look him up.
Okay.
You'll see his face, and you'll be like, "Oh, he's in everything."
Oh, him. Okay.
what about someone like Stanley Tucci?
Oh yeah.
Who's in everything, and he's great in
The
everything.
Tooch.
Yeah.
He doesn't strike me as a Western kind of guy.
No, I think he could do everything. He hasn't. Has he done a western before?
Tucci gang.
He
Anyways.
should.
Cody, Alex, do you guys have a sick movie?
I don't think so. Alex?
After watching
talk, Russ.
After watching all the Miyazaki films, I think I'm gonna.
Good
I'm
for
gonna go
you.
with, Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh, that was
Kiki's Delivery
that
Service?
was your Halloween costume.
It was.
Yeah.
We get it. You like the movie. I love it.
Have you guys seen the
good.
porno version of that? Kinky's Delivery Service.
I
No.
actually did, and it
I have
fucked me
not.
up for a good week.
I have not seen that.
Good job, Nathan.
Okay.
Cody, please let us know when somebody meows at us again. Oh, you are on Collider Live. Where are you meowing from?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Wow, I actually got through.
Lots of people new people getting through. What's
Love
your
it.
name?
I'm Adam. I'm from Glendale. I'm actually calling to give Jeff Snyder some advice.
Oh,
Ooh, please do, Adam. What advice do you have for Jeff?
I sold cars for 6 years, so I just want to let you know when they tell you you have to come in today, they need your car, this and that, it's all a sales tactic.
Yeah, it's
just to
bullshit.
get
I
you to
knew
come
it.
in.
Oh, yeah.
It's all bullshit. They're going to roll in your payments, the over mileage, they're just going to wipe away, unless there's a pull ahead program.
Ooh.
But they're straight up just calling just to.
Dude,
get
this
you into a
fucking
new
guy's
car.
got my back. Make
love
sure this
this.
guy gets
Yeah.
through anytime he fucking wants.
Thank you, Adam. Do you have a question for us or just advice for our Snyder?
No. It's funny. I've called like on Christian's last day, never got through this and that. I called just to give Jeff advice. And now
I appreciate it because I am not good with cars and like I need to have like a friend negotiate for me whenever I do a new lease. I'm way over my mileage this time. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, Adam. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
for
Adam.
The
You're
call.
the man.
That's so random. I love
It's
it.
so true.
I think people need to call and give us all advice all the time.
Yes, help me with my problems.
No,
Yes.
they did that with
Considerable.
with Julie's car. It was like her lease was getting up, and it was like every day. It's like, you coming in? You coming in? I'm like, no.
I mean, the thing is that I am coming in. I am a loyal Volkswagen Jetta guy. I was telling Stephanie last night, like, I like an anonymous car that does not stand out.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because who knows what I'm going to have to drive away quickly from.
Correct.
That's why I don't have a vanity plate
Why
either.
do you have it painted
And
who
hot
knows
pink,
what
though?
Yeah, and what you're
I got
doing
hot
in that
pink
car.
places, exactly.
I don't want to be noticed, so I don't want to drive
If I
anything fancy.
if I'm
Exactly.
stoned and I accidentally run over some little kid, like, I just want to be able to peel out of there.
Jesus,
you know?
this got dark.
Yeah, I can't have a vanity plate or like.
have a phone call. Phone
Yeah.
call.
Phone call, phone
ignore
call,
that.
meow, meow,
Holy
meow.
crap.
You are on Collider Live. Please save us and meow us.
Hey, it's Yash from Toronto.
Hey there.
Hello, how are you?
I'm on like a hat trick for some reason. I keep getting in somehow, but
It's great.
what's going on, guys?
Lucky guy. What do you have a question for us today?
Yeah. Okay. So I got a quick question. It's kind of a fun one though. Okay.
Okay.
So I was watching the Variety one-on-one with Adam Sandler and Brad Pitt, and something caught my attention throughout the whole interview. I was like, I'm kind of surprised how Brad Pitt is so interested in the role that Adam Sandler had in Uncut Gems with the Safdie Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we saw it with Good Time, like he reinvented Robert Pattinson a little bit. Now we're seeing it again with Adam Sandler and Uncut Gems. So what's an actor that you would want to see in the next Safdie Brothers movie reinvent themselves?
Good call.
Good question. Thank you so much. What do you guys think?
Oh boy. John Cena. Yeah. Thank you, Cody. If I had to say, it'd be John
Of course,
Cena.
John Cena. Yeah. Always John Cena's the
Yeah.
answer.
It's a tough one. I'm like trying to. Another one. You're right. Another one.
favorite.
Yeah.
Cody.
David Johnson.
Jeff
yeah,
is
is
thinking
pretty
about
good.
it.
I'd like to go with Will Smith.
Will Smith. Yeah, Will Smith's not bad.
Did you see Uncut Gems? Jeff?
Yes, I did. My question is the like the Safdie brothers are attached to direct the 48 Hours remake.
Right.
So are we saying that is their next movie, or we're just talking about a hypothetical?
Hypothetical actor.
hypothetical.
Actor
Just
that
someone
could be
who I'd wanna see
reinvented,
them-
like Adam Sandler.
Right.
Okay, then I do have somebody who I really feel like Hollywood doesn't quite know what to do with him. He hasn't acted in actually like years.
Hey everyone, this is John Roca.
Close.
Cody, really, really
That was
good.
amazing.
Yes.
I was thinking more of Tobey Maguire.
Oh.
You know, that's such
Tobey
a great
Maguire,
call.
I don't think has been in a movie since the chess movie Pawn Sacrifice.
Yeah,
Right.
Josh McCouga's ears are ringing right
Knows
now.
all too
Yeah.
well what happened
what?
with that. Did you ever see Josh McCouga's interview with Tobey Maguire for that movie?
No.
It is a train wreck in the most beautiful
I
way.
did. I interviewed him for that, so I was there for like that junket day. That was an odd day.
Yeah, he just it's like talk about bombing, but owning it. It's
yeah.
fucking hysterical.
It's like a bad movie. It's
Is that
awesomely bad.
online? Can I
Oh,
find
yeah.
that somewhere?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going
Yes,
to watch
please
that.
do.
I don't
Please
know.
do.
Should we bring it up
Toby's
on
a
this?
serious guy.
Yeah,
Well, we
that's
don't have that much time.
that's
left,
what,
but I do recommend you watching it.
But yeah, he could stand to be reinvented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay, go on.
Nathan, do you have one?
It's not so much a reinvention, just like to see him back, is Rick Moranis.
Oh, but he's not gonna come back, is he? I love him.
That's my choice, sorry.
I know.
Yeah.
I hope he does. He's retired forever, though, right?
That's why I heard
What
it.
if he showed up as a cameo in the new Ghostbusters? I think we'd all die.
Oh yeah, I would.
Because
That would
when
be
does
awesome.
that come out? Like May
Next
or
summer?
something?
Next summer.
Okay. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have one, Mark?
I've been trying to think, but Alex, I love your pick. I think Will Smith is a great call because
Great job, Alex.
I think
So proud of you.
Thanks, Cody.
Kiki's delivery
Contributing to the
service is
show.
awesome on it.
Fucking Cody and his sass. I love
Sassy
it.
Cody.
Are you eating lunch back there, Cody, at all?
Oh, we have
No,
another
not
call.
today.
Okay.
You are on Collider Live. Where are you mailing from?
Long-time listener, first-time caller, because I've tried so many fucking times to get through today. It's Rox.
Hello. Welcome, Ross. How are you?
Killing it. Such a great show. Obsessed that you guys are just crushing it. Wish I was there with you today. But
Aw.
D, you always hold it down. Jeff Snyder as your manager. Never mention hitting a kid in your car again. Like,
Can you
not a great
believe that?
call.
Thank you for that.
What?
Thank you. Jeff is getting
There
a lot
are
of
kids
good advice
hanging
today.
out all over the place. You never
But
know when they're
don't
going to
drive
step off the curb.
Don't drive stoned.
Oh my God, Roxy, you sound so different on the phone.
Don't drive stoned. How am I going to get around?
Joe boy.
I do? What do I sound like?
You sound like
A
an
dude?
no, not a dude. You sound like it's like an old wise.
You definitely sound old.
Bag lady.
I sound old.
I can hear.
Yeah.
I can hear the bags.
Why do? That's a good point. Why
I'm
does
just
your,
fucking with you, Roxy.
No. How are you doing, Roxy? We miss you as always.
I miss you guys so much. I can't believe I actually got through. Do you guys understand how many times I called today?
I'm
I know.
surprised.
This
That's
is-
great.
Will you do your Joker laugh for us?
Yeah.
You just made Nathan so happy because he's a huge Pee Wee Herman fan. So thank you for that.
It sounds like Joker. It doesn't sound like Pee Wee Herman. I'm not an old bag woman either.
No, I know. I said that on purpose to make you feel this way, Roxy.
Also, Nathan thinks that you ended up not showing up to today's show because he's our guest.
I'm very offended.
Well, I was trying not to tell him that, but if
Yeah.
he wants to think it, then it's not true.
What are you up to? Are you driving? Hopefully not stoned like Jeff
Yeah.
Snyder.
You driving?
Watch out for those
Stoned,
kids.
Definitely driving. Wish I was stoned. A lot of people in the chat, by the way, Jeff, did not know that you partook in the cannabis.
Wow.
Jesus, do they watch the channel?
He was. What was your Halloween costume?
Weed man.
Yeah. Well, there it is.
Roxy, what's going on? Where are you off to? You have a question for us? You got some more advice for Jeff?
No, I'm just loving you guys, but I'll let somebody else call in because now that I know how effing difficult it is, they've probably been waiting for. a
Yeah,
very long
really.
time.
You're hogging the airtime.
No, we love you and we'll see you Monday, right?
Yes, absolutely. Keep killing it, team. You rock.
I'll see you
You
before next,
rock.
Roxy, but only because I'm always watching. Goodbye.
We love you, miss you.
So
Bye.
weird. It's so weird.
Bye, Roxy. That was Roxy Stryer,
Yeah.
host of Collider Live, calling in.
I love her. We got time for one more call,
We can do
Cody.
one more.
And then I guess tomorrow. Who's on the show tomorrow, Mark?
It's going to be me, you, Matt Nost, and John Roca.
Oh, there you go.
We
Okay.
got the top 10 boys coming in.
You are on Collider Live. Where are you meowing from?
Wow, I can't believe I get through. It's Simon from Switzerland.
Oh,
Hey.
hi, Simon.
Oh, my God.
From Europe.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Welcome.
Yeah, I have two things to tell. First of all, Jeff.
Yes.
You're going to love Les Miserables.
Oh, great.
Ooh.
He got so much buzz here in Europe, especially after winning Cannes.
That's
They
right.
won the jury prize.
I'm excited.
So, everybody's saying that it's a great movie.
Frosty may fire me after I spent 2 hours in here this morning, and now I'm leaving in the afternoon. But
yeah,
Yeah, you're going to love it. I just have a quick question. What's your favorite score for movies or TV?
Like favorite score ever?
Yeah, ever.
Okay.
Like top 3 or top 5, I don't know.
Oh yeah, great question.
Great question.
That's my favorite question of all time.
Same.
Thank you so much for the call, Simon. I always people already know my answer. Blade Runner by Vangelis. It's one of the most not just groundbreaking scores for the time with what he did, but that movie's already great visually, and it just elevates it to a point where it makes the sci-fi aspect of believing that this world exists because of the score.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. I listened to it before bed. I've had sex to it. I've cried to it.
Boom.
It's so great.
Whoa.
Yes. You
Love
guys?
that. I've said it too. E.T. is my favorite score of all time. But up there, if he also said maybe top 3, James Horner's Legends of the Fall.
Oh, nice.
It's just so damn beautiful. E.T., Legends of the Fall, and I think Man of Steel score is up there
It's
by
really
Zimmer.
great, man.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite parts of that
It's
movie.
really there's something about it.
Yeah.
It's been building with me.
Seeing it live, I highly recommend.
Yeah.
Jeff, Nathan?
It's been on my mind. I was listening to a podcast about this movie, but Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
You thought I was going to say Young Guns too?
I was waiting for it.
Yeah,
You
no,
son
that's
of
up
a
there.
That is a great score, though,
Yeah.
by Wojciech Kilar or something
Something
like that. That's
I
his
have to
name.
check my phone. Yeah.
Jeff?
I'm gonna say Howard Shore for 7.
Yeah,
I think
that's
the
a good
7
one.
score is great.
His
and-
Silence of the Lambs is pretty good too.
Yeah, there's a lot. I love Hans Zimmer's work on The Rock. I love Mark Mancini on Speed.
Oh, I'm not sure who did that
That's
one.
a great score.
Marco Beltrami? No.
No.
No,
I don't
it's
know.
either Mark Mancini or Mark Mancina.
Cody,
The
Alex, you
Crow.
got one?
I'm a Justin Hurwitz boy. Let's do First Man.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's good. Ooh, it's
Cody.
back there. Ooh.
There it is. There it is. Well, we gotta end, you guys. We had a really lovely time with Jeff Snyder. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Nathan, people can find you this weekend at DesignerCon, correct?
DesignerCon, yes.
Yes, Friday and Saturday?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Anaheim Convention Center.
Great. Thank you so much, Mark Riley, Cody, and Alex in the booth. Thank you guys for watching us. We will be back tomorrow. Thank you to Tara Wood for being here as well. Watch that Quentin Tarantino documentary. It's really great. Bye. I love you.
Oh, good for you.